minute early. Good thing I pissed quick.
Drivers, start your engines!
Ready, green flag, all rolling. All the way out, stay in, come on. Bye-bye, come in, see you later. These guys are really good. Keep digging, stay in the gas. Hang on, dude, baby. Did not hit a thing. Why are you waiting so long, man? Bottom clear, shaking you down here. White flag, hit your mark.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to NWP this week. It is only 3 more races left in the 2024 NASCAR season. 2 more races to punch your ticket to the Championship 4 at Phoenix. And we found out that Joey Logano is inevitable in an even year.
You know who else
Welcome
is?
Huh?
You know who else is?
Who else is?
I mean, he just got a win today.
Yeah, actually, what are we talking about that guy for? We need to congratulate the most recent winner in NASCAR, buddy. Bobby Allison just picked up his 85th career win.
What did you do today?
And as we can see, it's been a good week for everyone here. Eric is rocking his Houston basketball jersey. He's excited for the
Opening
NBA
tip-off
to
tonight.
get back. He's excited for that. I'm happy to see Tennessee's Dalton Connect was looking good with the Lakers. I'm rocking a Tennessee jersey because we just picked a big win over the Alabama Crimson Tide. And Jarrett has a reason to wear the Budweiser hat once again.
Woo! Feel like the Kermit meme.
Everyone is
Oh, yeah.
celebrating something for their favorite sports things this week. So everything's looking real good for everybody.
Everything's looking great. Congratulations, though, to Bobby Allison. That breaks a tie with Darrell Waltrip now. He is 4th on the all-time wins list alone. DW has been officially dropped to 5th. Has anyone gotten a hold of DW? Has he tweeted anything tonight? I want to know what he
probably
thinks.
shaking mad. He can't believe this right now, I'd say.
I want to know, some of these like Richard Petty finished 2nd in that race in 1971 and was calling for Allison's win not to count. So I wonder how he feels today. All these folks are still around. Bobby Allison's still around. Got that photo with Jim France, with Mike Helton. Richard Petty's obviously still around. DW's still around. Like, what do these guys think about a race 50 plus years ago suddenly more or less being decided in 2024? We need to get all 3 of them in a room and have them talk it out. Just have a little feeling circle. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, so Bobby Allison will be racing at the Phoenix Valley for the Championship 4 now because of this win. So congratulations, Bobby. No, in all seriousness, though, it's a cool thing. Bobby Allison, one of the greatest drivers of all time. Nice to see him get another little accolade by his name, being 4th on the all-time wins list now.
So
It sounds a lot nicer than being like, oh, it's a tie. It's a little cleaner now.
So we got the guy who's 4th on the all-time wins list on this show.
He was like one of our first A-tier guests.
He was one of our first guests in general.
I'm wearing one for first guest season 1. So there we go.
I don't know where I put it because I changed so much stuff in this off. Oh, it's right above me as I have an autographed Bobby Allison little card back when he's in the Miller High Life.
That's cool.
Now I'm thinking of those stories like, I got to get the High Life, Miller High Life. Anyway,
good stuff.
Anyway, we did have a race this past weekend that did happen
Yes.
53 years after the race that just got decided today.
I'm kicking myself. I had Joey Logano wrote down as number 1, and I didn't take him because Larson was there. Connor didn't take him, and I thought it's too good to be true. I had a feeling Logano would do it. I was getting so depressed with myself last week after him getting in over Bowman, and I was like, I feel it coming. And what I didn't go with my gut instinct on picks, and I am regretting it.
I
Yeah.
have learned with picks, just go with your gut. If you start double thinking yourself, you're going to end up losing.
That's a good way to put it. I think it's whatever your first instinct is, that's usually the right way to go. Except for me in this case, because my first instinct was not to believe the Joey Logano superstition. He hasn't been that competitive this year. This has been, I think I saw someone posted this. This has been statistically his worst season in many ways since he joined Team Penske more than a decade ago. So I had no reason to believe Joey Logano was going to go to a couple of straight up mile and a halves and then one of the toughest short tracks in the world at Martinsville and win one of these 3 races. I had no reason to believe that. But once I saw how this race was shaping up, fuel mileage once again, Paul Wolfe, Big Balls Paul on the pit box, as they now call him, I knew I was in trouble, and sure enough, Joey Logano made me pay. I can't believe it. He is, as the thumbnail suggests, he is truly inevitable in even numbered years. It's crazy.
Yeah, I thought this was going to happen at Martinsville just because he's been so damn good there. And I'm going to say this: if Ryan Blaney doesn't get in, he's winning it. The Penske and Ford are so good at Phoenix.
Don't count out Christopher Bell, who he dominated Phoenix in March.
Yeah, but at the same time,
Toyota's so good at Richmond.
If Logano is the Penske car at Phoenix, they're going to bring that Penske magic they've had the last 2 years.
The only way I see Logano not winning is if Ryan Blaney wins and gets in or points his way in or whatever his way in. Because if you look statistically outside of that championship race that Logano won in 2022, Ryan Blaney has finished ahead of Joey Logano in every next-gen Phoenix race, and the only reason he didn't in that one was team orders. We all know it. But I mean, we can hash back up all of the stuff that's been talked about this week, because I'm pretty sure that's going to be the main storyline the rest of the year. Like, I think the main storyline the rest of the year, and if he wins all the way till 2025, is going to be Joey Logano, his piss poor season. I'm just going to say it's been an awful season for him. And then, Mickey Mousing his way into the championship.
Well, just Logano. Let's talk about this. This has been a piss poor year for Ford. Remember how long it took them to even get a win this year? And now they've got a car in a championship Ford. They had such a pretty good build with the next gen when it first come out, and then all of a sudden they brought out what basically looked like a block with shark fins, that some people would probably describe it. And it just seemed like they weren't getting it done. Now all of a sudden, hey, we're a championship once again. We're Ford. We find the magic every time.
Well, someone pointed out, they started off so slow, but then they won some races over the summer. I think there were more Fords than there were Chevys or Toyotas in the playoffs. I think it was 6-5-5 in favor of Ford. So they've slowly but surely figured it back out. I want to make this distinction clear before we really dive into Joey Logano. I don't know where the three of us come down on the playoff format and Logano's legitimacy, whatever you want to say. But any criticism of Joey Logano isn't of Joey the driver. Everyone here, I think all three of us know he is an outstanding driver, a future Hall of Famer, 2-time champion. We're not saying he's a bad driver. We're saying he's had a bad season up to this point by his standards. When looking at most metrics, he does have 3 wins, throw in the All-Star. He's won a lot of races this year. He's done very little outside of that. Like I said earlier, statistically speaking, outside of the win column, this is his worst year since he was with Joe Gibbs and he got fired. So I just want to make that clear. When we say Logano, oh man, should he be in the championship for? It's not because he's a bad driver. It's because he's had, by his standards, a bad season. I just want to make that clear because I feel like that hasn't been made clear on the internet the past few days. People seem to think any attack on Logano this season is an attack on his full resume, and that's not fair. That's not what we're saying.
Blame the game, not the player.
I've
been with this all year.
I'm going to double check some here real quick, so bear with me here. But Joey Logano, this is just kind of normal for him because take a minute on racing reference. Sorry about that. This is just normal for him because let's see, his first championship, 2018, he had 3 wins. His second championship, 2022, he had 4 wins. His current season, 3 wins, 3 or 4. That's his magic number. He don't need a lot of wins to win this thing.
Well, now in the next gen, I feel 3 or 4 wins is a lot of wins. It's hard to win 7 or 8 in this car.
Fair.
It doesn't happen as often. Joey Logano, and Team Penske they've cracked the code. Whether you feel the playoff format is the best way to crown a champion or not, you can't deny that Joey Logano thrives in this format. He wins the most important races, like Atlanta, playoff opener, wins it. Las Vegas, I would argue the second most important playoff race besides the championship itself, wins it. And he's done it before. He did this in 2022 as well, if I'm not mistaken. I believe he won Las Vegas opening round of the round of 8 to lock himself in and use those extra couple weeks to prepare. Like
every one of his championships he's won the first race in that round to get in.
So that's all I'm saying. Statistically speaking, he is the worst driver to make this, again, worst driver this season to make the championship 4 since playoff points were introduced. Worst average finish, fewest top 5s, fewest top 10s by far up to this point. Like he is certainly pushing this format to a new place. People are having a new conversation about this format because of how Joey Logano made the playoffs this year. He's not an illegitimate championship 4 contender, but I think it's also fair to point out he has not had a very strong overall season. That's why I consider this a surprise. Superstition aside, I'm surprised Logano has clutched up 2 important races in these playoffs. I would not have predicted that.
I'm sticking to where I think I've been since the Nashville race. I don't think Joey Logano, under the system, of course, he does, because it's the way the system is made. I think, though, just off of merit alone, I don't think Joey Logano deserves to be in the playoffs or have made it this far. I think it's more of an indictment on the system than Joey. And I said it Sunday. I'm like, I'm sick of everyone hating on Joey Logano for this, because I think Joey Logano is probably one of the 3 or 4 best drivers, if you look career-wise, that is in NASCAR today. I mean, I think, forgive me if I'm wrong, I'll double check here, but I believe now he's in the top 25 all-time in wins. He just passed Kurt Busch with this and Martin Truex Jr., so he ended up winning the damn war that way too. But I can't get over the fact that, I mean, he has the same amount of top 10s that Bill Rexford, who is kind of seen as the worst champion ever, got in his championship year with way less races. Well,
and that was 1950 or something, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's statistically
not exactly the modern era.
But what I'm saying is, it's not modern era, just totality of NASCAR. He would be far and away the worst champion ever, and he is now the favorite because of the track. Because, and let's not even like act like the track was put there like because of the racing. The track was put there for economics. He is literally there at the championship favorite now because of 5 overtimes, a super speedway win, Hendrick going full Darth mode, and then winning a race fuel mileage wise, which I think is the most skillful win he has had all season long. I think fuel mileage is something that needs to be appreciated. And now an economic move by NASCAR puts him in the catbird seat. Not even because he has so much longer, because unless his teammate gets in, this track is Team Penske's best track. And we saw how Penske ran at Gateway. We saw how they've ran at Iowa. We've seen how they've raced at Phoenix since this car's been put in. There is no way you can tell me that he's not the favorite going in, and he's probably not even in the top dozen best drivers this year. I'd argue 3 or 4 of the drivers that didn't even make the playoffs are better than him and would have made a much more interesting playoffs out of this. So, you know, I saw a lot of people getting upset. I saw Daily Downforce even made a video basically saying championships don't matter. His words, not mine. And it's just, I find it funny that, like, I've had so much pushback in the last 4 days from people who are very pro playoffs about, like, I don't think Joey should have made it this far. But none of them had jack squat to say to me for the past 4 months that I've been saying this. Because let's be honest, not even on this show, we had our funny superstition. I made my playoff pick. None of us really thought that he should have made it that far. No one did.
Yeah.
Now we're having this conversation only because it happened, not because we actually really thought it would in the long term.
There's a couple of ways to look at it. Just to going back to a few things you said there. Phoenix playing into Penske's wheelhouse. To me, that's not I wouldn't chalk that up to just sort of, oh, good stroke of good fortune for Logano. Like that's a strategy. Like I remember a few years ago, Joe
Scheduling
Gibbs
this
raced.
series as a strategy,
No, but Penske being good at Phoenix. Like you're saying, oh, it's so
but
fortunate
it's
that
all
Logano's
of
going to
those
win.
tracks.
Yeah, it's all because they know it's the championship. Like I was saying in 2021, I picked Martin Truex to win the championship, not because he was the best driver that year. Obviously, Kyle Larson was, but because all year long, you could tell Joe Gibbs Racing focused on the short flat tracks and were the best at that track type. And I said, that's a strategy. It's a risky strategy because there's not a lot of short tracks in the playoffs leading up to the Final Four. But if you get to the Final Four, it plays to your strengths. And Truex got there and was leading that race before that final caution and pit cycle. So like that's my only pushback on that is Logano can't control that Phoenix is the finale, but they can control how they prepare for flat tracks. Every team has that option. They've chosen to favor those tracks. Good for them. They made it. They should be the favorites. That's how that works, I guess. My only other comment, I guess, would be no, Joey Logano and the 22 have not been one of the top 10 best or fastest overall teams this season. Certainly not one of the fastest cars, broadly speaking. But this is where I do think it's important to highlight the human element of driver and crew chief. Like we've talked all year about Chris Buescher could have won this race, could have won that race. Fluky things happened, kept him out of victory lane. Ross Chastain in the regular season, fluky things kept him out of victory lane here and there. They just, they couldn't win. Joey Logano and Paul Wolfe are so good at taking advantage of these types of situations in ways that I don't think other driver crew chief combos are. Like at Las Vegas, they weren't the fastest car by any means. They maybe weren't the 8th fastest car, but Logano and Paul Wolfe are such veterans and so skilled, like you said, Jared, at saving fuel, at managing the race, that the human element is what propelled them to that victory. I sometimes at post race will, dock a race a few points on my groovy gauge because the fastest car didn't win. And people will say, well, who cares if the fastest car didn't win? Sometimes the best driver should win instead of just the fastest car. If the fastest car won every week, it'd be Formula One. I'm like, oh, that's a good point. So I think that's another way to look at this here is no, they have not been one of the fastest cars, but we know Logano and Paul Wolfe are two of the best executors in the Cup Series. And so it's like, there's two ways to get in, and you could argue that's how they got in this time around. And it's like, okay, well, that is valid, I think.
And that's why I made a point like this. The way he won this is, in my opinion, the most merit-based win he's had all year. It is the best win he's had all year, the most skill-based win he's had all year. And I think, and I will say of the race itself, because I've kind of moved to that point. I've been kind of employing or begging a lot of the people that are sort of in the same corner as me to look at it this way, because it actually makes the racing more fun. Watch for individual races. That individual race, take playoffs out of it, was fun to watch. There was passing throughout the field. We saw Chase Elliott and others do that. And we had a great fuel mileage finish to it as well. And I know a lot of people are getting all upset about that. This is not the reason. If you're upset about Logano getting this far, this race is not the reason you should be upset. This was the most straightforward race. This is the race that in my opinion, favors Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, Denny Hamlin, these long time, I'd say even Kyle Larson, because he raced in that pre-stage, longer run, fuel mileage, more centered era. And it favors those guys. So I don't understand people being upset at that part. I don't even understand people being upset at Ryan Blaney pushing him. We saw that last year, I think, with the 2311 cars, and no one batted an eye.
Yeah,
So like I there's really nothing in this race in particular that I think we should be clutching pearls over per se. I think it's literally just the lead up that left it open to this situation. And that's where we're going to have this debate, this storyline the entire year. And it's whether you like it or not, whether you love Joey or hate him, he's inevitable. And this season, if it is a championship season, will be put in the same bin as a Kyle Busch 2015, as a what would have been a Ryan Newman 2014. I see that's the comp everyone's putting towards it. Ryan Newman actually was running up front a lot of that year, and I think like just on straight up points leading in was like top 5 or 6 leading into the playoffs that year. So like that, this is not even in that category. Like the only reason people are looking at that is like, oh, he didn't win. Well, he was still pretty damn good, but I
closer to like a Matt Crafton 2019, because I don't recall him necessarily being in the front of all those truck races that year.
I guess I just my big thing to people is like, one, you know, I'll speak to both sides in this. For those who are kind of on my side, who are not fans of the playoffs, not fans of the way Joey Logano's gone through this, like, just watch for the races. Like, the playoffs are an afterthought to me. Like, I really put no merit or basis in them anymore. Like, it doesn't do it for me. I'm gonna watch for the races. I'm a race fan. I like racing, and I'm gonna watch for that reason. I don't go to local short track for the track championship. I go to watch races. For a lot of those, I will say, because I've seen this thrown, and it was thrown at me a lot, which I found really funny, because like I totally just was trolling on Twitter with the Mickey Mouse meme, and then I put the Vader one like all too easy, because it is that freaking easy on there. To those who are very pro playoffs and like, well, if you don't like it, don't watch. Well, people have been saying that for 20 years and taking that advice if you look at the numbers. So maybe let's just let's just sit and have like a amicable divorce on this. Agree to disagree, that we are not going to see eye to eye fully on this, and just enjoy it for separate reasons. That's where I'm at on it anymore.
It's exactly like the old format rewarded consistency throughout the year. This current format is March Madness style, get hot at the right time. You know, lower seed upsets the top, the high seed upsets the low seed. Like, that's what this format is built for. And if you grew up watching it the old way, it's going to, or you watch a lot of other motorsports that reward points, kind of like the Winston and pre-chase format, then this is going to be foreign. This is going to be a difficult adjustment. But if you've grown up in this era, I think it's the way Joey Logano got in is exactly how this format was built. So
this is what NASCAR wants.
That's exactly your point though, Jared, is I think this win by Logano sort of takes the mask off. You're now on one side or the other, and there's no pretending that you're like somehow both. Like, you're either bought in and say this is the format, you can view it how you want, but this is it, okay, or you can be super staunchly against it still and say no, I don't value this championship at all, and instead it's focusing on race wins. Like I said in my video on Joey Logano's Hall of Fame plaque, it's going to say race wins, championships, and I hope championship 4 appearances. So you're going to get the race wins, which I think is probably the most telling stat as far as who's the greatest of all time. And then you're going to have championships, which for people who value this new championship format, it's important to put that on there. So you have both the divide, and then you'll have championship 4s, which to me is sort of a blend. It typically, Logano this year being one of the few opposite examples, it typically rewards the best drivers and teams all season, and I think that's sort of where you can kind of meet in the middle. But
and I do want to say one more thing, just to kind of like try and mend the bridge, I guess, with if anyone wants to take anything from this, is like from about 2018 to, I would say, through about 2020, maybe 2021, the early years we did this show, like, I tried to buy in. I did, and it would just piss me off more. Like, if you don't like it, don't force yourself to try and like it. I learned firsthand, and it made it less enjoyable. And like, I'll say this too: when I was at Martinsville in 2021, and I was watching Alex Bowman versus Denny Hamlin, the last thing I thought about was the championship. I was thinking, holy crap, the 48 just took the 11 out for the win. Let's freaking go. This is nuts. Everyone's going crazy around me. Like, it is possible to just, again, have that peaceful divorce as a fan base. We don't need to pitchforks at each other. I'm going to troll idiots because it's easy and it's fun. And it's just like, it's just entertainment to me. Like, I'm gonna do that every now and then, and it's both sides of it too. Like, I'm not gonna pretend that like, oh, because I don't like it, it means everyone like me is smart with it. No, there's a lot of people who are dumb as hell with it, and it's just as easy to mess with them. But like, if you want to take anything from it, you can enjoy NASCAR without looking solely at the championship and any of that stuff. And I want to make that abundantly clear, because, you know, if you're someone who looks at it from my side and NASCAR isn't going to like make amends or try and fix it or anything like that, then go and try and find a solution on your own. And that's what I've done. It's made the last 2 seasons so much more enjoyable for me. And I'm gonna, you know, I implore any fan to go that way if they're just not gelling with it like that. I want to be solution based in some way, and I can't make NASCAR change rules or schedules or anything like that. So this is my best option to give you. So I just wanted to say that. I wanted to keep it positive because I want to talk about the race itself because it was really freaking fun, man. It was a fun race.
Yeah, and on that note, let's talk about something else happened in the race. Joe Nemechek. Can you guys guess what he has in common with someone currently in the playoffs?
Qualified in the front row a lot.
Not that.
Front row Joe. There you go. I don't know.
In 2009 at Nashville Super Speedway, he rolled a car at a 1.5-mile track and kept driving it. So did Tyler Reddick.
For about half a lap.
You got my member berries tickled real good on that one.
Yeah, I tweeted when that happened. Tyler Reddick using lessons learned from Joe Nemechek that one time at Nashville.
God, I'd kind of like completely left that from my brain, but yeah, I mean, I really thought, I've been accused of we talked about for the show, I've been accused of like making layup predictions on the prediction segment. I really thought that and I don't think all of mine really are, but I really thought, I'm like, man, this is a percentage prediction, like no flips the rest of the year. Like it's possible. We've seen weird stuff. Cars get air at Las Vegas a lot. Joey Logano has done it. Funny enough, Jamie McMurray's done it. I want to say there was like an Xfinity clip this past week of someone doing it, but I'm like, it won't happen this week. And then I looked away for a second. I hear an O, and I look over. Martin Truex Jr. is sending like 3 people to Valhalla, and there goes Tyler Reddick. Just starts flipping down the front straightaway.
Yep.
Yeah, they crashed. Unfortunately, took out really 3 championship contenders by no real fault of their own. Reddick was soaring around the outside when Truex drifted up into Elliott. They came together. Ryan Blaney eventually got clipped by a spinning Brad Keselowski, so that damaged his car. So this was the flip itself was wild, little 360 there, landed back on all 4 wheels, but the points implication for some of the top contenders, it kind of opened this race up because I think Tyler Reddick maybe was the best car, and it was going to probably be settled between him and Christopher Bell, who I think both started on the front row. Like I think they were the best 2 cars. And when Reddick got taken out in this, it really opened things up, I feel, the rest of the way. So I know Elliott fans, Reddick fans, Blaney fans, not happy with Martin Truex Jr. this week. I get it. Dude's mentally been on a fishing boat for the last 6 months. I get it. Why is he even out there? What's he doing?
I will argue that I think Chase Elliott had borderline race-winning speed the way he was zipping through the pack, and he had pretty fast.
He might
speed.
have too. You might be right.
He's going to need to find it these next 2 weeks, seeing the point standings. We'll talk about that more in a minute. But
it was funny though. I saw on Twitter that Martin Truex Jr.'s radio communications were like putting full on there. And like you could tell he was like kind of concerned. He's like, whoa, who flipped? And then after that, like as soon as they're like, oh yeah, he drove off, it's like you could tell no F's were given at that point. He was like, oh, that sucks. Okay, well, I didn't mean to. We might have to do an adjustment on our next pit stop, this, and this. And it's like, yep, he doesn't care. And it's like he's going to come back and no one's really going to do anything because he's Martin Truex. I'm kind of enjoying the I don't give a damn what you think MTJ. It's fun,
That's always kind of been MTJ though. The difference is
he acts on it now.
I guess. Like I saw he punted somebody at the Roval last week. I forget who it was. Like, yeah, he is he's punching back physically with his car a little more than he used to. Although I don't even know if that's what this was. I mean, this was just Truex losing it. He didn't have any remorse afterwards, but he just lost it in the moment. It's the same thing we saw between Larson and Bubba at this track couple of years ago, right? So I don't know, he just kind of lost. Same thing at Darlington when he crashed on lap 2. Dude's just not focused, just lost it. That being said, I do want to give Truex some credit. He came back to finish 6th. He earned a lot of stage points. Like he actually take this wreck out. He did have one of his best races of the season, but it was blemished by this mistake.
I've joked about this for a little bit, but I think low key it should happen. He's only 44 years old. We've seen Hank Parker Sr. attempt to go from being a Bassmaster Classic champion to making NASCAR starts. Martin Truex Jr. needs to be the first NASCAR champion to go after a Bassmaster Classic because He wants to be he still wants to compete and have a competitive nature, but he's also just like probably tired of the BS and drama of NASCAR. That'd just be perfect for him to get out there and just start doing competitive fishing. He's got enough money to do it, that's for sure.
I like I like Urban Alvarado's comment though. MTJ is like, if they crash, they crash. But
that is kind of it. Yeah.
It's I do joke about that, but it was fun seeing Truex actually at times during this race look like Martin Truex and run really well. And I don't think he's going to get a win by the end of the year. He may never get a win again. Even, he might win this week for all we know, though. But I do like seeing him run up there. I think we've learned in the last give or take decade to appreciate these drivers on their way out now. And I feel like Truex is a driver that really, until about 2016, 17, really never got appreciation for how good he could really be. So I'm hoping fans do appreciate him outside of the ones who are just like, he crashed my favorite driver. I hope that at least some can look positively at him. But it was
not
pretty
this
funny.
Week. Let's if he goes out and runs top 5 at Homestead, everyone can pat him on the back. But this week was tough. 3 championship guys taken out in 1 mistake. I mean, that's unfortunate. But
have they confirmed?
I blame the system, not the driver. I'll say the same as Joey Logano with them. They're in the same war.
Have they confirmed if he's running at 2017 throwback this weekend, or is it Phoenix?
This weekend.
Okay. I didn't know if they had made that announcement or not.
I like the little flare of green they had at the bottom, like the monster.
They tried to sneak some of that monster coloring on there, which is really cool. Who else have we not? We haven't really mentioned Denny Hamlin or Kyle Larson. Larson both had issues on pit road. Larson was able to rebound to finish 11th. Hamlin was on that same fuel strategy as Logano ultimately, but ended up 8th, I think. So both are, both left a lot of points on the table. Fortunately for Larson, he had a huge cushion coming in. I thought it was crazy that Larson finished 11th. I don't know that he earned any. I think he earned 1 stage point, yet somehow he added 2 points to his playoff cushion, which tells you all the trouble other playoff drivers ran into. But Denny Hamlin as well. I don't know. Do we think the pit road issues for those guys are just a fluke? Hamlin, we've seen it a couple times now, but for Kyle Larson, is there any reason to be worried?
I don't think so on the Larson front. If it happens like this week, or if they're just slow like on it, okay, then maybe worry, make a few changes by the end of the year. But some teams just have bad races every now and then. Like I don't even think it's like the track. I don't think it's a track. I don't think it's a situation, playoffs, any of that. Just sometimes good teams just screw up every now and then.
Yeah, I think Larson should be fine. I mean, I think he's a serious threat to win this weekend, and plus he's got a 35-point cushion right now. That might actually be a decent time to get into the playoff standings if you guys want to move on to that part.
Well, and real quick, Duke Chronic brings up a good point too. Larson did hit some debris that got him in the back too. That didn't help either. So
no, I think it was an off week for the team, but the speed was still there. That was a top 5 car with no issue if they had no issues.
I'm not worried at all. He has to give me a reason to be worried at this point. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you, Danny. But real quick, I want to give a shout out to Doug Rice. It was his final race called. And he's awesome person outside of just the booth too, and he's been really cool to all of us through the years. So like I want to give him the biggest congratulations on an amazing career. I believe, was it 32 years I saw? I feel bad I don't have it on hand.
That sounds right.
I don't know the exact number. I just know I grew up going to races at Texas, and obviously he would call the races at the SMI track. So hearing his voice for years and years and years, and then meeting him for the first time, I think in 2020, was surreal. And then to your point, Jarrett, I've seen dozens of stories like this on the internet this week, but he is very kind and supportive to anyone in the industry. Probably one of the nicest, most outgoing people in the industry. So really amazing career, and wish him the best in retirement.
I remember one night we were doing the show, and we all see Twitter maybe sometimes during a show or afterwards, and we just saw Doug Rice was watching us, and he tweeted about us, and I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, no, he's like, he doesn't just BS it and just say nice things to say nice things. He means what he says. He's very no, he's a genuine person. So it's bittersweet, sad to see someone like that sort of step away from day-to-day NASCAR duties, but
Well,
he's done it great for so long. So
I'll end up my end on this. Doug, if you're watching, or even if you're not, we appreciate everything you've done in your career, and I think more people should say that. Definitely, that we tip our caps to you, and we hope you enjoy retirement.
Absolutely.
And speaking of retirement, some of these drivers might be retiring from the playoffs soon. That's the best segue I can get into that.
There you go.
Christopher Bell plus 42, Kyle Larson plus 35, William Byron plus 27. All feeling good, but not great. I'm sure Christopher Bell wishes he could have locked in. Felt like he had the speed to do that. Denny Hamlin is 27 out. Tyler Reddick is 30 out. Blaney is 47 and Chase Elliott 53. We got some basement boys here in must-win territory already. I don't know where to go with this. I feel just about everyone below the cut line is in must-win, and I would argue even William Byron and Kyle Larson might be in must-win, because if a Hamlin or a Reddick were to win at Homestead, suddenly Larson, Byron are duking it out for that final spot. And it's tight.
Hamlin and Reddick have a race where they can win stages, and then maybe if they don't get the win, be right up there at the end. It might help them a lot in a big way. But Blaney and Elliott pretty much have to win a race. I don't see them doing well enough on points with that big of a gap, 47 and 53. I mean, Blaney proved last year he can go out and win Martinsville. That could happen again. Elliott's won Martinsville in the past. Reddick is the type of driver who does really good at a track that's coming up this weekend, Homestead. I don't know. Has he won Homestead yet? I don't remember.
Reddick does not have a cup win at Homestead. He has 3 top fives.
He doesn't have a cup win there, but he could. Hamlin has won at Martinsville many times. He's won at Miami before. Byron has won at Martinsville and Homestead. Larson has won at both those tracks, and Christopher Bell has won at both those tracks. All these drivers have won or should be capable of winning in these next few tracks. It's just a matter of who will at this point.
Well, I'll say on my end with this, Tyler Reddick, this is a must-win for sure. I look at Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson, William Byron, Denny Hamlin, all winners at Homestead before, all ahead of him, minus 30, and Tyler Reddick's, quite frankly, in the next gen era, awful at Martinsville. Ryan Blaney and Chase Elliott, I think because of points, are must win. Denny, he's borderline for me because he's so good at both of these tracks, but the big issue is that Bell is awesome at the next 2 tracks. Kyle Larson is awesome at the next 2 tracks. William Byron is great at the next 2 tracks. All of these guys have won at both tracks that are ahead of Denny, Reddick, Blaney, and Elliott. So I'm kind of in the boat of, unless you have a massive day and win both stages and all of that, I think all of them, I feel like this is just win. I don't see any real path this far in, because we've seen in this round that you need to keep it close and be close, or hope for someone to have a catastrophic failure at the worst possible time, which could easily happen. It's a wild west at this point of the next gen era. I just personally don't see that coming to fruition for a lot of these guys.
How should Christopher Bell feel right now? Plus 42. You could hear over the radio on the last lap how angry he was that he didn't win that race and lock himself in. That plus 42, I feel, is misleading in some ways, because he's only 15 points ahead of William Byron. And so again, if one of these upset winners do break through, which we all just admitted they're all very capable, suddenly that 42-point cushion is a lot less impressive. So it's going to be interesting. If you're one to care deeply about the playoffs and who at least makes the championship for, it's certainly going to be an interesting battle the next 2 weeks.
If he can just race smart and get top 10s, probably, but maybe more or less a top 5. He can get top 5 runs, I think he'll be okay. Even if Larson wins Miami and then a Blaney wins Martinsville, if he just runs it smart, focus on getting top 5s, I think he can still stay above everyone points wise to be fine.
I will say,
chat's all saying that, like, surprised that Bell cussed. It's the first time I've ever heard him swore.
Didn't have that on your plan, did you? I will point out something that was kind of cool that I noticed on Sunday. My final four picks that I made on the show last week is currently what the final four would be.
You bold on Logano, and it's paying off so far.
I should have bet on that one. I wouldn't have made as much money as like the Cindric win pick that I did, but I feel like I would have made a bit of a coin on that one.
Yeah. I will say I was impressed with Tyler Reddick's speed. I know he crashed and is -30, but 2 weeks in a row, Reddick has shown, I think, top 5 speed once again. Like he looks like he did when he was, winning the regular season championship. So if they avoid trouble this weekend, like I think he's going to be one of the guys to beat at Homestead. So that sort of a precursor for the second half of the show.
Yeah, I did not have Logano in my championship 4, so there's that. I had him in my round of 8. I did not have him in my championship 4, and then I got onto the Logano conspiracy theory, if you will, after Bowman was disqualified.
But I mean that might cover it if it's for you guys. I don't know. I'm good.
Yeah, we can get to the ratings.
Yeah, go over the ratings real quick. The Cup Series race had 2.229 million viewers over the weekend, which is up 1.6% from the 2023 numbers, but it is down 14% from 2022. As far as that goes, that's okay, but we care more about what you guys think. The poll. We had 11,000 people vote on the poll this week, so thank you all for contributing that. Make sure you always check it out over on the Icebergs community tab after each race, where you can vote on that. 16% of you people said great. 16% of y'all are Logano fans. That's impressive. 57% said this is a good race, giving us a net positivity of 73%. Kind of down. I guess that might happen with the Logano window. But 17% of people said this is average. 4% said below average. 6% said this was bad. There's our Logano haters. 10% net negativity on this one.
I gave it a 9 out of 10. I thought it was a really good race. But
I think to both of your point there, Danny, and then what Jarrett said earlier is most of the negativity stems from either people who just can't stand Joey Logano or can't stand the way he worked his way into the championship 4. I think that's what it ultimately comes down to, because the race itself I thought was very good. Maybe you just hate fuel mileage racing, but as fuel mileage races go, that one came down to the wire, and you had 2 superstar drivers basically bearing down on each other. What I thought was remarkable was Daniel Suarez and Joey Logano being on basically the same strategy, and Logano left Suarez in the dust at the end there. Like, again, speaking to the skill of the driver and the planning ahead of the crew chief, is they were like, Logano showed why he's special the way when you compared him especially to Daniel Suarez.
Sliced bread still fresh. On the poll side of it, first comment was from Tank Slapper. So is it positive, negative, meme, mix? You name it.
I know this name. It's probably a meme.
No, this negative poll makes me think they're going to be pretty salty or pretty upset.
Joey Logano is inevitable.
That's a meme.
Yeah, it's a meme.
And that's what made the thumbnail. That was the easiest thumbnail ever made for a show.
Let's see. Alessandro said, with Tyler Reddick flipping, it is the first time Toyota has flipped in the Cup Series since Matt Kenseth at Dega in 2016.
I remember that one, Eric.
I do remember that one.
I saw somebody had a stat too on Reddit. It's the first time in the next gen era that I think it was like that. It wasn't a Ford or Corey LaJoie flipping. And it's like an actual stat that they put down. I was like,
yeah, there's been a lot of Fords. Harrison Burton, Ryan Preece. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just letting you know in advance. This is a very salty comment section.
I could believe it.
This would be too salty for fries at McDonald's at this point. Zumois says, I hope NASCAR's proud of what they've made. 14th to 17th place driver in points all year has a really good shot at winning the championship. Vortex says that Joey Logano advancing in this manner illuminates exactly what's wrong with the format. Mitch says C. Bell needed one more freaking lap. Hell of a finish. So there's still some that are positive. Ross Crash Stain said, "Don't care, didn't watch, voted bad. NASCAR died with Parker Klickerman."
Oh my gosh.
I read that at first and I was just like, how did we get a NASCAR died but Dale died comment out? And there it is. It's a Parker Klickerman one. This is kind of covering the same ground, but it's the commenter's name that I had to highlight. Wilford Brimley, Cocoon, diabetes, said 18th place average in the championship for Jesus Christ. And then SKRE said, this is why Auto Club shouldn't have been demolished. Vegas should have gotten the shaft.
Whoa. Wow. Okay.
Well, that's SMI, so they don't get to make that decision.
They do that by resurfacing. According to Denny Hamlin. Samuel from the gutter. Samuel says, hate all you want. Being lucky comes with skill at times. Saving fuel is strategic. He managed to do it at Nashville. Should have won Richmond, but fail Earnhardt. I added the fail Earnhardt part because that's just a funny ass nickname.
I hadn't heard that one before. That's savage.
It's pretty funny. My comment section's been littered with fail Earnhardt comments all week. Mike says NASCAR sucks, F1 better. To kind of like get a point from the lightning round. Did you hear that the city of Las Vegas wants to move the F1 race to Las Vegas Motor Speedway?
I did not hear that.
Yes.
Is that actually the city, or is it just some local business owners?
No. It's like the city is like trying to talk to F1 about it, and they're like,
so what are they thinking? Like just a roval configuration, the oval? What do they want to
do? They weren't specific, but if it's anything like a lot of open wheel races that might get moved but don't want to do an oval, they might just run it in the parking lot, depending on how the parking lot is at Las Vegas.
I feel like Formula One
about that going all the way to a racetrack and then you're not even using the racetrack.
Some would say that about Charlotte.
They could maybe build a road course inside a roval for it and have a Las Vegas roval.
Race the Legends Oval Reddick tried to race.
The boring.
Yeah.
Take a lesson from Nashville. Call it the Grand Prix, but it's just on the oval.
I would actually be very curious of like
F1
what
on
F1,
an oval.
Yeah, I'd be curious about that. Like I would
probably actually watch that.
I would watch the hell out of that.
Yeah.
The race this weekend, I'll be honest with F1, I would not have known that the race was even happening at COTA this weekend if it weren't for College Game Day. I'm being honest. I have been that out of loop.
I didn't feel there was a ton of promotion for. I didn't watch much of this year's race. I mean, obviously the Cup race was going at the same time. Yeah, I watched the sprint on Saturday. And
who won? Exactly I didn't even like, because the thing is, like, for
Leclerc won the race, I think.
Because I remember, I know it wasn't for Verstappen and everyone was like happy, but I'm like, for me, like the way I see it is, I feel like the Miami one has kind of stole the thunder of COTA in America.
I think Miami and Las Vegas, because isn't Las Vegas in like a month?
Yeah, but it's like Las Vegas year one. Like I want to wait, see how that kind of plays itself out, especially how the city is. Like, I don't know. I get that the race went off well in that way, but like everything else around that locally and even kind of nationally in coverage of like how bad stuff was, like, that was a nightmare.
Speaking of nightmares, AEB King 1980 brings up a good point. Maybe I do not want them on the oval. Remember the last time open wheel cars at Las Vegas Oval? I don't want that.
Yeah, I don't see any way that any of this works, though. It's fun hypothetical, but we kind of said it before. Realistically, I don't know how that would actually work. The lowest gutter comment, by the way, and this one surprised me because it's a long-time commenter and listener. MVR owner is the lowest one
on the gutter. What did you do?
Did he do?
To all the Logano haters, Logano defeated your favorite driver, and he's going for his third championship. In the word of G-Generation X, suck it.
Yep, he's a Logano fan. Forgot that.
He was asking for the thumbs downs on that one.
And that was the poll.
Poll? Did somebody say poll?
Mine.
There was an Xfinity race over the weekend, and he doesn't do this often, he doesn't do it too often because he's a really good road course racer. But AJ Allmendinger got himself one last win on an oval over the weekend because he's going to go back to the Cup Series next year.
I was funny to me. A lot of people being like, "Oh my God, he finally had an oval win." I'm like, pretty sure he's had oval wins in Xfinity before. Like,
yeah, he won Atlanta. That was like his first one. That was a big deal for him. So
yeah, he's had a few. I think he's probably had more road course, but he hasn't won any Xfinity races all season. So it's not maybe quite as shocking as the Logano, although Logano on the Cup side gets the championship for not with consistency, but by winning the most important races. Allmendinger's kind of been the opposite. He's not won any races until now. All of a sudden he won an important race, but he's been more consistent, just hasn't shown winning speed this year. So that part of it was pretty surprising. A lot of folks, though, got to feel bad for Ryan Sieg. I thought this looked like his best chance to finally break through and get a win. And you just never know when the next one's going to come. He's been good at the mile and a halves this year, maybe Homestead. Shoot, he almost won Texas.
He is by far way more cursed than Parker Kligerman, I think. Ryan Sieg is, because
I wanted that so bad. I really I will fully admit to cheering him on at the end, and I like AJ Allmendinger. I know a lot of people are getting all pissed about it because it beat Sieg, but like I cannot tell you how upset I was at that caution at the end, because at that point I'm like, his restarts haven't been good. And I don't think he's going to get him, but like I think he would have beat him. I know that AJ was holding him off.
He fell off when he got loose, though, so I'm not quite sure. He had a good gap at that point.
But it was only about 4/10. I think in 8 laps he would have made that.
He was starting to eat back into it. I think he probably would have had at least one more swing at him, but I mean, it is hard to pass at him at those tracks. So
yeah, and AJ is raced up there so much. He knows how to mess with people in the aero side, especially a loose car. But it's like, I have to think, because of how he did it the whole run. This is what I love about like that finish at the end before the yellow, is like, you could tell, and you can't tell this a lot of times, I think at different points, but you could tell the drivers were learning each other's moves as the battle went. And that was like the fun chess part of it to me, where I'm like, I think he would have made a different move. I don't know what the move would have been, but I think he would have. But I want to give AJ his love a little bit too. That's his 18th career Xfinity win.
Wow, that many.
Ties him with Denny Hamlin, one of the King Bushwhackers, and get a load of the guys that, like, if AJ, let's just say AJ gets 4 more wins. These are the guys that he would pass in wins with 4 more wins in there. Christopher Bell, Greg Biffle, Harry Gant, Tommy Ellis, and Sam Ard. He would be right behind guys like Dale Jr. and Tommy Houston. So I mean, he's been pretty damn good in this series. I want to give him his flowers on this, because a lot of people have been saying, "Well, he finally got an oval win. He only is a road course merchant." Like, no, he's a really damn good driver, and he deserves his love too.
Yeah, especially in what's been a down year for Colleague across the board. To break through in this race was very impressive.
He's going back to Cup next year, and personally, it doesn't make sense to me. I feel like at this point in AJ's career, he should be maybe like an Elliott Sadler and just focusing on the Xfinity Series. But he's going to go back to Cup, and at that point, who knows what happens? Maybe Colleague says, "Hey, we're going to sell one of our charters," and maybe they only have one car at that point, because at this point their Cup lineup is AJ Allmendinger, who can't pick a series, and Ty Dillon. That's their Cup lineup next year. It's not really looking the greatest, in my opinion.
He's their best driver. He's better than Hemrick overall. He's better than Ty Dillon overall. But isn't he? Is he racing this weekend at Homestead?
Yes, he is, and
he's really good at Homestead for some weird reason.
and I'll say this: I think it's not that he can't pick a series. I think he's just an awesome team player. Like, I think he goes where they have money for
needed.
He is bought in. Like when you hear the culture is damn good. It's like AJ has bought into that culture.
Yeah.
Chris Rice and Matt Colleague would have to really piss him off to ever make him leave that team until he retires for good, in my opinion. I could see AJ Allmendinger becoming a part owner in the team one day. He's that invested into it.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't even think about that. You never know. Do we want to look at the Xfinity points? Because they also have 2 races to go before they cut off.
Just imagine AJ buys in, we rename it Allmendinger Racing.
Ooh.
Almondolig. Popping up the Xfinity grid.
That is good.
Popping up the Xfinity grid here. Justin Allgaier is plus 32, Custer 16 up, and Chandler. He is +8. Austin Hill -8. Jesse Love, who is stuck around, I'll give him that, -13. Sam Mayer -23, and Sammy Smith -53. Sammy Smith is in must win. He was in must win, I think, coming into this, but
Yeah.
that was a brain-numbingly bad call leaving him out there and not repairing any of the damage. Like that is definitely a learning experience, as the booth like to say.
Yeah, well, Xfinity going to Homestead this weekend. Going to be interesting. Another case where I don't think many people had Allmendinger in their championship for, so
No.
it's going to be tight. To see who else gets in there.
But I mean, I'm looking at these guys here, and I think I'll be honest. I think that the 2 through 7 will compete. I think Sammy Smith is an afterthought. I think that the rest of them are pretty good. Sammy Smith might be top 10, but I don't see him being as good as Allgaier or Sam Mayer on his own team, let alone some of these other guys.
Yeah, it would take a lot of fortunate circumstances for him to win this weekend or next weekend. So I'm with you there. I'm curious to see if either of the RCR guys break through. Early in the year, they looked almost unstoppable. I think that was skewed by the heavy number of super speedways the first couple months. But, I mean, they've obviously stuck around, like you said, Jarrett. So has Jesse Love graduated? Has he ditched the rookie stripes, metaphorically speaking, and can he do something special this week? Because Homestead, as intermediate ovals go, is a driver's track. Can he hang it out there and do something special? Sometimes these young guys, like Reddick is a great example, wasn't super impressive in Xfinity until you went to Homestead, and all of a sudden you thought he was the best driver in the world. Like, can that be a Jesse Love? Or
I imagine Austin Hill probably is going to have some PTSD of Martinsville after last year.
I feel like if, though, Hill and Love can just stick around, stay close to Chandler Smith, Cole Custer, Allgaier's it. I feel like going into Martinsville, I'd be pretty confident. I know the whole hubbubaloo happened at Martinsville with Creed and Hill, but they were up front running for the win at the end, and they are pretty, I'd say as a team, a pretty good team at Martinsville per se. So I think the goal this weekend just has to be, hey, just stick around, be like within that 12 point range, 15 at worst, single digits one way or the other, and I'd actually feel pretty good about the RCR guys going into that. But AJ, he didn't have to care. Maybe he'll go for broke and just sweep the round. Oh, there goes my phone.
That's the thing, is he could legit win Homestead this weekend. We know he likes that track, so go 2 for 2. Why not bonus? Not even really bonus, just for funsies.
Yeah.
Yeah. On that note, we're getting close to the top of the hour, so we're almost at the first Super Chat stage break. But real quick, we'll just touch on the Truck Series real quick. No race over the weekend, but we are getting down towards the end of that, so you might want to know how the playoffs are looking for the Truck Series. So we've got Grant Enfinger is locked in to the final round, but besides him, we've got Chris Neckes is second. He's 30 points to the good. Corey Heim is in third, also 30 points to good. But then it gets interesting. Ty Majeski fourth, 5 points to good. And then Raja Karup is behind him, 5 points back. Taylor Gray, 13 points back. Nick Sanchez, 20 points back. And Tyler Ankrum, 21 points back. Guys, real quick, is there anyone you feel bad about? Is there anyone you feel good about in the Truck Series right now?
I kind of like the Final Four as is.
I do too. I think the only two that have a realistic shot of upsetting are the Spire. Well, Sanchez isn't. It's a Spire adjacent truck. Sanchez at Homestead could be spicy. Raja as well. But if I were to bet on it, I think the Final Four stay as they are. It's the big three, and then Enfinger, who's the veteran, has experience. It's not really a shocker.
Majeski's a great short track driver. I see him probably being fine at Martinsville. He'd have to really screw it up, but if anyone can get in from below it, I would probably go with Raja where he's at right now.
Yeah, he's only 5 out. That definitely helps.
I hate saying this because I like Raja a lot. I kind of feel like people are overrating him a little bit. Like, he's good, but I don't see him
the early win, and it helped a lot.
Yeah, I just don't see him being like Ty Majeski good, Corey Heim good, Christian Eckes good.
Has Raja announced what he's doing next year? Is he back in the 71 next year?
I believe he's back in trucks next year.
I think that's the plan. I don't know if that's been announced or if that's confirmed. I could be wrong.
And then, of course, Noah Coleman, look at Danny die.
Look at Danny die.
Where? They left him in the round of 10. Where did he? I don't see
Look
him.
at Danny die. Look at Danny B's super chats. Let's look at that, actually. So let's read that for about 3 minutes.
All right,
That's
gotcha.
good.
All right, let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready. I got you.
Oh, okay.
We're good to go.
Bailey Record, appreciate the $4.99 to start up the show. A lot of y'all very generous tonight, by the way, but appreciate it all. We'll get it from all at an hour later. Bailey Record, $4.99. Can we talk about how Sammy Smith forced a caution? Like you drifted up on track to get a yellow, then his car magically turns back on immediately. Okay, that was very sus.
I thought did they hold him? Did they hold him a couple laps? Because isn't that something they started to do if they deem you intentionally brought out like the Hocevar rule?
I don't think they did.
They probably could have there.
That far back. They should have. I mean,
I'm not sure what he would have cared at where he was in that race at that point, but that's definitely something they should have done.
Bailey followed up with $1.99 and said NASCAR should have looked into manipulating for that. Yeah, that's probably more what that falls in line and is because he's just trying to manipulate a caution to come out to focus on his finish. So, SK Abels, appreciate the $2. Can't wait for NASCAR Full Speed Season 2. Yeah, that should be pretty good whenever that eventually makes its way out there. Should be nice. Spencer Purcell, appreciate being a member of DannyB Superfan for 40 months, Spencer. A Ryan Sieg win will feed families one day. Indeed it will. If and when it comes. Let me get into wrestling mode for a minute because we have 50 big ones, $50 coming in. Wow. Appreciate that very much. From Paul Heyman. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. I represent the driver of the number 22 Ford Mustang, the Dream Shatterer, Joey Logano. Joey is in the Final Four. Joey Logano is going to be a 3-time NASCAR Cup Series champion. That's not a prediction. It is a spoiler. Thank you, Paul Heyman, for your wise words, oh wise man.
Gotta put a spoiler alert on that one. I don't want the whole season ruined. What the heck?
I told you that last week. What are you talking about? Ross Crashtain, appreciate the $5. I think Joey owes Alex one of those chocolate strawberry flower gift baskets. He owes him something.
Edible arrangements.
Sure. Yeah, it was him, Blake Harris. He owes somebody something.
Yeah, send it to the car chief or whoever.
Very appropriate $22 from the Trash Man. This is a quote. Now I am become deaf. Destroyer of NASCAR playoffs. Joey Logano, probably.
Laganenheimer.
The memes are top tier with this.
Oppengano. Doing my best.
Isaac V24. Appreciate $1.99. I like when you say F Logano and the playoffs. Well, you just made me with your super chat, so give it a like and make sure you do like. There's not enough right now. I don't want to gaslight too much here, but if y'all want the player game, we're 261. We need 400 guys. Fanap, appreciate the $2. If Logano wins, he will pass DW and Pearson all time.
In what?
Championships?
No.
But DW had 3.
Oh, wait. Yeah, I think they both have. Pearson has 3, right? Does DW have 3 or 4? We should know this.
But he had 3. I know Kel Yarborough has 3.
It's been way too long of a day and week for me to remember this.
Yeah, we should probably know off the top of our heads. Well,
I'm pretty sure DW has 3 championships.
Well, either way, I know they have at least 3, so he wouldn't be passing. He would tie at the very least.
Well, unless there's a magical one that we don't know about.
Here's something we do know. Zardy, appreciated $2. Logano will be top 10 all time if he wins his 3rd championship. So we do know that for a fact.
That's probably true. Chat says DW is 3. Yeah, they all came in the 80s.
Napa Racing Fan 927, appreciated $2. Thanks, Eric, for false hopes of 22 not in the championship 4.
How dare I use logic when superstitions are involved?
I imagine we're pretty close, aren't we, Jarrett?
Yeah, we're a minute over.
Oh, well, we'll end with this.
Overtime.
VA Sensation. Appreciate the $9.99. Larson sweeps the stages, finishes 2nd, almost max points. Bell finishes 2nd both stages. Reddick wins on the high line. Martinsville becomes a race that has no playoff bearing, and the system changes. There's always playoff bearing because there could be an upset winner potentially.
Yeah, but And I don't know what could be. I don't know what could happen this year that would create a meaningful change to the playoff format.
New broadcast deal.
Yeah, it would require a new broadcast or title sponsor coming in. I mean, that's basically
Wait.
every other notable change has been because of a title sponsor.
I got the change. Guys, we've ran the numbers back. Alex Bowman was actually fine on weight. Put him back in. He's in the championship more.
It's sad. It's
we've
sad,
added
chat.
a 5th car to the championship, and it's Alex Bowman.
This is, I don't know what stage of denial this is, but
he needs to go to Africa.
It happened to Gordon, dang it. It could happen to Alex.
Gosh, it's hard to watch.
Strike him down. Strike him down. It's a lightning round.
Actually, no, forget that hack. My balls are doing good. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I struck you with lightning because it is the lightning round. Actually, we have stuff this week for it. First off, of course, we have the main, not main channel, but the NWP channel where we'll repost all this stuff. So if you missed this live or any of them live, because if you're listening right now, it's live for you. It's on there. This one was just weird and I had to put it on. So Toyota's North American Racing banner that the NASCAR Toyota teams will race under has now been renamed to Toyota Gazoo Racing. Drivers will now have to say this instead of Toyota Racing or TRD. TRD is still around.
Seriously at all? So I'm driving for Toyota Gazoo.
That's why they always short it to the GR. You know, I'm driving my Toyota GR Supra. So I wonder if that's what they'll do.
I'm gonna play my kazoo with Toyota Gazoo.
I was just thinking, like, when you have those nostalgic fans in like 2040, you know, like good. Nowadays we'll look back like, man, remember when there was like the Ford Taurus and there was, you know, the Monte Carlo, and it's like Toyota Gazoo. I just found that funny enough. I had to put in there. William Sawalich will run a Toyota Gazoo number 18 in the Xfinity Series full time next year.
I wonder if they're rebranding because of all the high profile engine failures and then the penalty with Denny Hamlin this year. I wonder if that's why they're like, let's just abandon the TRD label. There's a negative connotation with that. Let's just Gazoo everything.
I don't know, but I do know TRD. There was always a joke among the Toyota salesmen that if you sold a TRD Pro, you're selling a turd Pro.
I like how we both laugh the same way at the same time.
It's just one little hey, fine. Do the roar.
Just do a nose laugh.
Frankie Muniz will race full time in the trucks next year, the 33. So good luck, Frankie.
Good luck. You're gonna need it.
Team Amerivet, which is formerly the Money Team, plans to race.
I missed this. When did they rebrand? I totally missed this.
I don't know. They've never been at the track.
What happened to Floyd?
Well, they plan to run 15 to 17 races in 25. I give them 2 at best.
I'll take the under on that one, Vegas.
Yeah. I would about say NY Racing races more than they will.
Well, actually, if 2311 and Front Row lose their charters and the purse money does go up for open teams, maybe they do show up. I don't know.
Do they hit minimum speed though?
That doesn't matter. If you make the field, you make the field.
They show up at Daytona and it's just like, oh yeah, it just won't crank because we haven't seen that happen before. Michael Phelps will drive the pace car for the Cup finale, according to Bob. So
Steve Phelps bringing him back up.
Will he swim the pace car?
They should
triathlete the pace car.
It is funny they're taking Michael Phelps to like the one track probably furthest from water.
they got to like neutralize him first before they can get in there.
And it's like we got to surround Superman with kryptonite so he's a normal guy.
And then Phoenix's like rarest thunderstorm shows up with his presence.
We have to nerf Michael Phelps.
Michael Phelps is Aquaman.
Of course, it was the news we talked about before. NASCAR adding the 1971 Bowman Gray race to Bobby Allison's win total, putting him at 85 overall, officially 4th all time. Some people are asking, they're like, well, so wait, Richard Petty finished 2nd now. Like, does that mean that that he has 199 wins? No, they officially didn't have a winner on the books for that race. So now he is officially, and he has the trophy and everything. Now he has a plaque with 85 on it. The same way Jeff Gordon does. There's now 2 drivers have an 85 plaque for their win total. A couple of lines of business here real quick for this. Not this coming week, but next week. And both of them, Eric, are on your channel. So the first one is your yearly iRacing event.
Yes, Groovy Hollow is back. The legend returns. Although this time, I'm the one driving the Halloween machine. That's why I've had the steering wheel on my desk the past couple months. I've been practicing, thanks to with some help from DJ Yej, another YouTuber here, fantastic iRacing oval driver for sure. He has been giving me tips, helped me get started. So hopefully I don't make a fool of myself. That's Tuesday night. I believe it starts at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Got to make sure you get that right. October 29th. Hope to see y'all there. If you're interested in donating to Extra Life or checking out any of the other merch and donation packages we have available, you can head to groovyhollowraceway.com. So it should be a fun time. I think it's going to be a cool, spooky broadcast. We've got some real world NASCAR guys racing in it as well. I believe my buddy Brennan Poole is confirmed. I don't want to say too many names because I don't know who all is confirmed, but we have a few guys you'll recognize from Xfinity and trucks for sure that have said they will participate. So should be a good time. That's Tuesday. And then what's Wednesday night, Jarrett?
This show on your channel as well.
Woo! So doubling up Tuesday, Wednesday, both live, youtube.com/Eric Estep, iRacing. Then we'll talk some real world racing. Should be a good time. So very exciting.
Eric, we should put together a highlight reel of every time that you're shown on the broadcast and go over your race highlights. Unless you just gun it lap one and take out the entire field, then we won't talk about that.
Let's hope that doesn't happen. I've been putting in a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie. Well, I say a lot. I've been putting in some work over the past few weeks, especially. So I'm really, because I was looking at the sheet. Because my I rating, I've only been doing it on and off for a couple months. My I rating is like around 15 or 1600, I think. And I'm looking at some of the folks on our entry list. Some of them obviously are real world drivers, but some of the others, we have David Shieldhouse, I believe, is going to look to defend his title. Some of these guys, it's in this 5, 6, 7,000. I don't know what the max is in iRacing, but some of these guys are damn near close to it. Like, I've got my work cut out for me. I'm just hoping for a top 15. And hoping to not make a fool of myself. That, if I bring it home in one piece, don't scratch the Halloween machine, I'll be feeling pretty good. So let's pray I don't bin it on lap one, because that would be kind of embarrassing considering the effort I've been putting in.
And that also will do it for the lightning round. Danny, look out! Oh, that was actually perfect timing. I don't know if there's like a delay you could see it on your end, but like it was perfect timing.
I'll be watching out for. Oh, yeah, that was good actually.
That is the lightning round. What else we got heading into the headlines?
We have a little return. Jarrett, what's on your hat? The return of the 8. Teresa has finally freed the 8.
Mostly, we don't get the E. Unfortunately, we just get like.
Yeah. I didn't say she freed the E. She just freed the 8.
But I'm excited that we talk all the time about nostalgia and member berries, and this just perfectly just right there. It's right there. I'm happy with it.
I will be curious if there's any conversations at all between Junior now and RCR about the possibility of Kyle Busch, at least for a throwback, running that number font as well.
I want to see that just to see all the Earnhardt fan heads explode.
That's the thing. Is I'm like, do Junior fans want Kyle Busch in that 8?
Because let's see, I don't know if they still sponsor him, but like Lenovo computers, they've been on the RCR before. They would be like a good red company to do that look.
Well, I'm going to be honest. Like, the worst of the Dale Jr., Kyle Busch stuff happened 16 years ago. Like, I'm past it, Like, that's not the hill I'm willing to die on when it comes to being a fan. I've passed by it. But, no, I mean, I know a lot of people were kind of upset that it wasn't an Xfinity ride. Doesn't mean that it won't happen at some point, especially seeing how I believe it's like the 1, 7, 9, and 88 are now the full-time JRM cars. So it's like he could totally just run the 8 at some point. It's my kind of like fan fiction dream in my head that Dale Jr. runs for his last Xfinity race, his initial scheme from 1999, and he runs at Charlotte in front of his hometown crowd, brings everybody together, Teresa, the Uries, whoever from DEI is willing to show up, And that's just how he goes off in front of his hometown crowd. He can win, he can run 20th, but he runs in that car. Everyone's happy, and we all just sing Kumbaya.
Kumbaya. I will say this, you said this before the show, Jared, but that red number 8 on a late model body actually looks a lot closer to the Cup car that ran back in the day than if it was on a boxier Xfinity car these days. So I think that the paint scheme translates incredible. I think I saw somewhere he's not just going to run it at Florence this year. He's expected to run it maybe some next year as well. So that's exciting. So hopefully fans get multiple chances to see it in person.
I haven't gone onto their website yet, so I don't know if they're even offering it yet. But I imagine if Lionel Racing is offering this, there's a strong chance that might be good enough to take most ordered diecast this year.
I went on the website. They had like 6 versions available for pre-order.
Okay.
It was ridiculous.
No, I mean that's one of the ways you can get people, because especially with it being on the short track scene, not connected as much with NASCAR itself. Like that is a way you are going to get even the fans that left NASCAR a long time ago that are big Earnhardt guys to just be like, "Yep, take my money, all of it, Chris. It's right in time for Christmas. Let's do it. Just let's roll with it."
Kids, no Christmas this year. Daddy had to update his Budweiser merch.
I got a hat, I got a shirt, I got a jacket, I got a diecast, I got underwear. Hell, I got the Dale Jr. Budweiser jockstrap. I don't care. Like, we're getting everything Dale Jr. red.
I wonder if there's people going into hotel. Going into tattoo parlors and being like, "Yeah, can you modify this Monte Carlo to give it like more of a Camaro look on it in the front?"
Hey, I'm just waiting for the day they have the 6.7 car. Like that will be the day. But overall, I absolutely love this. I made a sign. You guys saw it in my grandpa's garage when you guys were up for Road America and a couple years back. But the Teresa Free the 8. I mean, that was a huge deal. Ricky Rackman on NASCAR race day with it, and I completely guarantee you, had Twitter been as big as it was even in 2013-14, back in like 2007, that would have been the number one trend on Twitter about every week until the 88 was announced. I mean, it was like, there's so many times where like you'll hear older fans be like, "Man, you don't know what the Niners were like unless you were there." Like, it's the same way with like that 2007 season and how big of a deal it was to not have the 8 go with him, because it really was an Earnhardt connected thing. I mean, with the number and all of that. So it is kind of like cathartic as a, and just euphoric as a Dale Jr. fan to see this happen. I'm very tempted to be like, let's just load up a bunch of people in a car and drive there on a, the race I think starts like on Saturday afternoon. Let's just load it up, drive 8 hours out to South Carolina and, chill with Slap and watch the race. 'Cause I know he'll be there.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be a packed crowd. Any place that 8 car goes, it'll be slammed.
Speaking of Dale Jr., there's a chance maybe one day he could make an appearance in the Random Driver of the Week segment. I don't think we've had him yet. But guys, if you want to play that, I've only had 292 likes. I mean, I guess y'all don't feel like doing it this week. I get that. I really understand. I totally do. I know it gets boring doing it every week, and I know you guys probably don't want to do it anymore. But I mean, if you guys don't want to give us 400 likes to unlock that, I totally get it. I really do. I wish we could play it, but I understand if you guys don't feel like it this week. I really understand.
I mean, Danny, you convinced me. I just liked the stream, so hopefully we're up one now. That'd be great.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. We got one more segment before then, at least, right?
Yes, we do. Our predictions.
I'm starting to enjoy this segment.
Yeah. We'll get to that. Don't spoil it too much your end. But the prediction segment here, each host to make up to 3 NASCAR Motorsports show-related predictions. We kind of played fast and loose with it this week, but we're still kind of in the range. We'll keep track each week of right and wrong predictions, and try and keep them concise. It doesn't have to be 2 to 3 years, but just generally kind of around there. My accountability. Pretty good week for me. I said a guest would win the Random Driver of the Week prediction before the end of 2024, and Connor got our fastest one ever last week. Yeah, I wasn't even upset. I was like, damn, I'm just impressed. I also said the margin of victory at Las Vegas for the Cup race would be less than 1.1 seconds. I believe it was 0.6.
Still, why the 0.1? I still don't get.
I'm hedging my bets, man. Hedging my bets.
Why not 1.2?
I mean, it could have been like 1.098, and I would have got it right. But if I had a 1.0 and it was like 1.001 and I'm wrong, I'm like, nope, not chancing it. I did get one wrong. I said there would not be another full flip in 2024, and then as soon as I make that prediction, it is taken off the board negatively. Not as negatively, Eric, though, as your end of it. It was rough, buddy. You said Todd Gilliland's average finish would be 19.0 or better at season's end. By season's end, it is mathematically impossible for that to happen now after a pretty slow streak. You said the guests would not get another random driver right in 2024. Connor, again, set the record. Ty Gibbs, you said, would be the highest finishing non-playoff driver at Las Vegas. He was not. And you said Kyle Larson would lead the most laps in the Cup race at Vegas.
What's Todd Gilliland's average finish?
It's like 20.8 or 21 or something. It's
so
like
close.
Yeah, I did the math. It's like, no, it can't happen.
I wonder when I made that prediction. It had to be. It was definitely a while ago.
But Danny didn't give the full spoiler for it, but he's on the other end of the pendulum here. He said Joey Logano would get 3 or more wins in 2024. Got that right. He said that he'd win in the round of 8. Got that right. And he said Tennessee would beat Alabama. Got that right. Which is, again, playing fast and loose with the show-related predictions, but we've done ones on football before, so we're counting it since it's our teams. So prediction percentage-wise, what's that do for Danny? Moves him to P2. I'm still leading 45.83%, but I got a lot on the board to go off in the next couple weeks. Danny at a clean third of his predictions now correct. At one point, we were thinking Danny might have been in like the teens percentage. He has been on a heater as of late. Eric, the slow weeks have caught up to you, 32.94 just behind him for the prediction percentage. But we have a change.
The crazy thing is, we only showed the percentages, but in terms of things right, I'm only 2 predictions right behind Jarrett's total, but he has almost 20 less things that are off the board than I do.
Playing long game. So it's going to be interesting because that long game might come to a crashing end at Phoenix, depending on how it all goes. So I'll lead us off here. I will say that the chat, I know this is not looking good right now, so chat, please bail me out on this. The chat will hit the like goal for the rest of the year. And we're not going to make it easy or anything, just standard for what we do, but I think you're going to pull it through for me, guys. Come on, got to do it. We're at, 79 to go?
This is already in jeopardy the way they're going right now.
77 to go. I believe. Remember, it's by the end of the episode, not by the prediction segment for the weekend ahead.
Chad's going to sacrifice the game to make sure you get one off the board.
Anyway, Danny, you're next.
All right. My Tennessee Titans will have 3 or less wins by the time they play Jarrett's Vikings that we are going to the week after the NASCAR Cup Series season ends.
Wait a minute.
How many wins do y'all have right now? 2?
2. 1 and 5.
Oh,
Danny, that's in 3 weeks. That's like 2 games to go.
Wait, yeah.
There's still mathematically enough.
Oh, people get on me for layups.
That's a layup. I don't know about that one.
Danny's not doing a layup. He's doing a freaking slam dunk.
Okay. Let's actually get rid of that one. I have a better football-related one than that.
All right.
Okay, this was my other one for football. We'll just go ahead and use this one because I have another one I was going to add in anyways. By the time the Titans-Vikings game arrives that the Danny and Jarrett are going to go to, the Vikings will have acquired Jeff Simmons.
Ooh. I think that's one we'd both be happy with.
I would not, but I'd get it right.
Yeah, you'll be happy with the draft capital, probably. Eric, what do you got?
All right, well, I'll start with this one. We were just talking about Groovy Hollow. I'm going to go and ink this prediction. I'm going to bet on myself that I finish 15th or better in the Groovy Hollow race on Tuesday.
How many are in the field?
30-something.
I'm just gonna chalk it down as red. Kidding. I'm kidding.
You have little faith. It's a long race. A lot of
Attrition
hijinks can happen.
I'm gonna say this: the finale ratings will be within 3% of last year's, whether 3% to the positive, which is kind of where it's trending, 3% to the negative if it goes awry. I still think it'll be pretty close to last year, so I'll say the finale TV ratings will be within 3% of 2023. And I'll do 3 flat. I won't do like 3.5 or anything or 3.1. I'll do 3.
This is the one I replaced my Titans pick with. Eric will cause 2 or more cautions in the Groovy Hollow race.
I'm gonna be on my best behavior. That's the problem. Is I'm probably gonna be slow because I'm trying not to be the drama.
Just don't be Jimmy in like the Pro Invitational Homestead race. Like, just don't do that. Like, hold your line, and then it should be good. Eric, that leads right to you. Actually, I love how we're like dunk. You're in the basement for this, so it's like time to dunk.
I'll get to some NASCAR ones. I'm gonna hedge against my possible race pick, but I think the current top 4 on the Cup points are going to be the championship 4. So Logano, Larson, Bell, Byron.
You know what? Let's just do it. Why the hell not? Because I know somebody's gonna want it off the board. I need to double check really quick the prediction board just in case, because I might have to alter this prediction. But I need to check and make sure this one is not been predicted, and if it has, I'll just alter it. It's been predicted, so I'll alter it. I will say Team Penske will win the Cup title. Yeah, whether it's Joey or Ryan Blaney, Team Penske is gonna lift the championship trophy for the 3rd year in a row.
Were you gonna say Joey Logano wins the championship?
Yeah,
I said that last week.
Yeah, I knew I should have looked. I needed to be sure. That's why I checked the sheet really quick. So I will hedge my bets on that one a little bit and say that Team Penske will win the 2024 Cup Championship, Drivers Championship. I don't know if the owners is anything different. So Danny, what you got?
I'm also kind of going against Eric on this one. Chase Elliott and William Byron will not make the championship 4. Larson will be HMS's only driver in the championship 4.
Ooh, I kind of like that one though. That one's kind of spicy. All right, my final prediction. I think there's too much of a log jam. So let me preface this by saying there's been a lot of Xfinity Series signings lately. We mentioned William Sawalich, Taylor Gray going to Gibbs. With the log jam at Toyota, I think that either Corey Heim or Chandler Smith or both, one or both of these 2 drivers will not race for Toyota next year. I think they'll end up somewhere else. One might end up in Cup. You never know. Maybe they sneak into a 3rd legacy or some car or something like that. But I'll bet one of them at the very least does not race for Toyota next year.
Toyota Gazoo.
I'm sorry, my mistake. Let me use their full legal name. Toyota Gazoo Racing of North America.
Yep, they will be playing the kazoo for Toyota Gazoo.
I'm sorry, such just Toyota Gazoo.
Cannot take that name seriously at all.
It sounds like something a cartoon character would call themselves or would say.
I assume
or something.
it's got to be named after someone in Japan, but I don't know who it is. I'm very uneducated on their.
Where's Jar Jar Binks? He should be in the chat. That's something he'd say.
Speaking of chat, 432 of y'all watching. We're at 346 likes. I'm going to have to go to super chats because you guys aren't. Wait. Oh, we haven't even done
We haven't even done Homestead. Danny's I'm screw it. Things. Skip Miami.
Who cares about Miami? John.
Yeah, fair point. An hour's less than 50 to go. So, yeah, we can probably get into the Homestead weekend.
Yeah, I don't know why I just skipped all that. I'm putting predictions in place of picks, I guess.
So what we got, Danny?
On that note, going into Homestead, some notes for the weekend. Ryan Truex will drive number 26 car this weekend for Sam Hunt Racing. Martin Truex Jr. will be driving a throwback to his 2017 championship car. The Cup Series race name, long missed as the Ford 400. We all missed that name, but now it's the Straight Talk Wireless 400, 267 lap race, broken down into 80 laps in stage one, 85 laps in stage two, 102 laps in stage three. This race is set to start at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. So that's 1:30 p.m. Central time for us. I'll be out in, I think, Mountain Time. I'm going to Montana this weekend, so that's what time I'll be out.
What are you
there
doing
this
in
weekend.
Montana, Danny? Are
It's a
you
good time.
burying a body?
It's a good time to give a shout out. Me and Claudia are celebrating our 5-year anniversary this weekend. So we're going on
Hey,
a little trip to Montana over the weekend.
that'll be fun. That's a hike. I'm sure you'll be probably doing some hiking out there. That's cool.
Would be nice. It's gonna be a lot colder out there than it is here, so
Oof.
gotta dress warm.
We're about, you don't have to like dox yourself on where you'll be, but generally,
Yes, my specific location, Jarrett, will be at.
Send us the coordinates.
but
Damn it.
I want to see what the weather forecast looks like.
We will be at least seeing the town of Missoula, Montana, at some point.
Ooh, I like it. I like that. I've been through there, I think. So next, wow, Missoula, Montana. Today was 47. Here are the highs for the next couple days: 51, 57, 62, 63. And then it gets down into like the 40s and 30s after that. So,
Oof.
Yeah, we actually figured out we're going at probably the best time weather-wise for that area.
I have been waiting for this all night, Danny. I want you to say the full name of the Xfinity race.
The Xfinity. Oh, by the way, Christopher Bell won the last race, and the weather looks fine for the Cup race. So
Woohoo!
the Xfinity race name, the Credit One NASCAR Amex Credit Card 300 that will have a white flag presented by Credit One Bank.
A lot of credit. I give
I added
you
in
credit.
the last part, but
Also, Bailey, I think your math is wrong saying 373 likes, 37 more to 400. I think the math's a little wrong on that one.
Well,
Carried an
he's
extra
shooting for
one.
the stars.
Carried an extra one on that one.
he's just trying to get us to 410. He's just trying to be a team player.
An AJ Allmendinger.
Let's see. Let's go into that one. 200 laps in this one, 45 laps in stage one, 45 laps in stage two, 110 laps in stage three. That race is going to start at 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, and you can catch that on the CW from now on. Radio, listen to it on MRN and Sirius XM. Weather for this one is looking pretty good. 84 degrees, mostly sunny, 15% chance of rain. Defending winner of that race is Sam Mayer. The Truck Series race name is the Baptist Health 200. Not the Pentecostal Health, but the Baptist Health 200. 134 laps in that one, 30 laps in stage one, 30 laps in stage two, 74 laps in stage three. That race, is that right on the
It's
time?
noon.
Ooh, what happened to Friday night races?
Well, they've done this the last couple of years, but it's like
Saturday doubleheader.
noon. We got our noon start. Damn it. Let's go.
I missed the Friday night Miami race, but oh well. It's going to be noon on Saturday. You can catch that race on FS1 and the Fox Sports app. Radio coverage on MRN and Sirius XM, and same thing. 84 degrees, 15% chance of rain. Defending winner of this race is Cup Series driver Carson Hocevar.
Sure to defend this one.
Now, pick points. Getting serious here. Coming down to the line here, guys. Ain't much more time to do this. Chat, you have the lead with 500 points exactly. Eric is second, 10 points behind. Jarrett is third, 23 points behind. I'm fourth, 27 points behind. Theoretically, no one's out of this. I am starting to feel a little uneasy about my odds. I think I need to gain a little bit these next 2 weeks to have a chance come Phoenix. But it's getting interesting. Is Eric going to finish second once again? That's the big question we've had all season long.
Would this be the fourth year in a row? Because I know I won the first year and then Chats won the last two.
I'm afraid you'd be right about that.
Oh my God, dude.
Why am I always?
We even redid the points format for this, and you're still going to be second.
I know. I'm destined for silver. Ricky
I'm just
Bobby
glad
would
I'm
be
not
sad.
looking at a 200-point deficit like the last few years. I'm happy to be 27 points behind.
Danny's taking the moral victories where they come on this one. I mean,
Yeah, I'm going back to the Butch Jones there of Tennessee football. I'm a champion of life now thanks to this.
if I'm not mistaken, I think it was like last year or the year before. There was one year where I was like mathematically in it, and then it's like as soon as the truck race started and something happened, it's like, and I'm out. So yeah, I guess let's roll on into the picks.
Yep, the truck win. I go first on this one, and I'm going to go with Christian Eckes.
That's a good pick. So I will go chalk as well and go Heim time.
Ooh, give me Lane Riggs.
Slapshot has been quiet this entire stream, and now all of a sudden he goes, and it's gone. Talk about Jarrett.
What did I do?
Talk about how you thought you were in it, and then all of a sudden it's gone. Slapshoot hasn't said a word this entire stream, at least I haven't seen it, and he commented, and it's gone.
Chat's going Nick Sanchez.
Oh, hold on. See what 98.
Maybe Raja.
I think I'm saying more too. I give him Nick Sanchez.
Which leads to Xfinity.
Oh, I'm a little uneasy about this one because I don't think Sam Mayer wins this one again. This race is always interesting that we ain't got Noah Gragson in it. I'll go Chandler Smith on this one.
All right. Well, I will then go with, I think, the guy who, in my opinion, is a favorite, Cole Custer.
All right, then I guess I'll take the guy who's been steady recently, mile and a half. I'll take Eric Almirola.
And the chat.
And if Eric Almirola would have just ran a full season, he'd be contending this year.
Oh, easily. I feel like the chat's like they're kind of confused a little bit. 16, 18.
Frazzled.
I really wasn't easy about anyone I was going to pick, so Chandler Smith was just who I took a chance on, really.
Yeah, they're not really choosing on one in particular. I see a few going to the default setting of Allgaier.
I see it.
I think that's what it's going to be. I'm seeing way more of that than anything else. Some people are still saying 81.
If you were going to poll, I would do 7 and 16.
I don't even think it's worth doing that. I see way more 7s.
Fine with me.
Let's do it then. And but let's see, how many likes away are we? At 15.
You guys can do it before we get done with this. I have faith in you guys.
So who's going to suck?
Oh, he's done all he needs to do until Phoenix. Joey Logano.
I'll go off the beaten path a little bit with this. I know he hasn't been great as of late, but this is a good track for him. But at the same time, he's just I don't trust him or that team. Denny Hamlin.
I was trying to think who's most likely of the playoff field to struggle, and honestly, it probably would be Logano because they're going to be more passive. I would say Joey.
And the chat, or is the chat just gonna the people that get on us for layups gonna go really like layupy on this?
They're kind of all over the place. I'm not really picking out who they're going for.
So we just pick one out of the crowd, and that's their suck pick.
I think I see a lot of green on the Logano pick, so we'll go with that.
Sure, yeah.
I feel like that's just
there was
wishful
3
thinking.
22s in a row. Yeah, give them that.
All right, underdog.
Sucks he's not in the round of 8, so I'll go AB48, Alex Bowman.
Then you're leaving me with AJ Allmendinger. I like AJ on this one. I mean, I don't know what it is about the next gen and Homestead, but just clicks in the last 30 laps every time for this guy.
Yeah, I know AJ is a great pick for this. I'll go ahead and throw out another name. I was doing research for my video today. You all know that Corey LaJoie, he blew a motor at the Roval, but in his other 3 races with Rick Ware this year, he's finished 18th, 15th, and 14th.
And I believe he's outrun Justin Haley in all of them.
Haley's shown more like flashes. Like I'll see Haley top 5 at Las Vegas for a run, and you'll be like, whoa. But finish-wise, no, LaJoie has been better. So I'm going to just mention Corey LaJoie, maybe another top 15.
It kind of reminds me, what if you said all that and then he flips in this race and then Tyler Reddick wins? We missed an opportunity. Tyler Reddick flipped and Corey LaJoie did not win the race. That's very unfortunate.
Yeah, that could have gone really well for him. I think chat's leaning Hosabar for
Oh,
Oh yeah,
of course.
they're going off his success from Truck Series and saying host of ours. So I like that.
That's
actually.
also a good pick.
The Cup win. Who do we think is going to win the Cup race?
It's big.
Failed me last week. Don't fail me again. Shame on you. Fool me once. Shame on me. Fool me twice. Shame on you, Kyle Larson.
I kind of knew that was going to be because I had been actually running on a streak here. But I got both my number 1 picks with Heim and Cole Custer. Gonna have to go with my number 2 pick. I feel really good about him though, and I'm going with Seabell. I think he's really good here. He's really good at mile and a halves. Showed what he had last week. Add in that motivation. I like having the 20.
Eric is lit up. We have just gave him somebody he did not expect to have.
So, like I said earlier in one of my predictions, I was hedging against my possible race pick because I didn't expect this guy to be on the board, frankly. I feel I have to take Tyler Reddick, considering the raw speed he's shown the past couple weeks. Give me Reddick.
And the chat is probably in shambles because we took all the numbers I was seeing most of.
I mean, right now I see a lot of 12s, but we'll let it shake out for a minute.
There's also some Byrons.
There's some Hamlin.
We did hit the light goal.
Whoa!
Woo! Happy Kermit gif.
I think I'm going to give y'all a poll between the 12 and 24, and then do divide.
That's probably good.
Yeah, that looks like a pretty good one. It is the curse of not being, well, I guess sucky like the rest of us is that you get the best picks taken away. What's that? I don't know if it says anything about us that we have the best picks and it gets screwed up, or if it says more just about how crazy the season has been.
I think it says more about how crazy the season's been.
I do think the season has been extraordinarily unpredictable.
I think this whole era has been, in all honesty, like the next gen is just like stupid stuff happens a lot more.
I'm gonna give you all so that says 225 votes.
Awfully specific.
That's a lot of votes.
Okay, 200 votes. Let's just say that.
Are we sure we need it?
No, let's actually say 125 because you are slowing up on the votes.
The exit polling is leaning one direction, but I don't want to call the race just yet. 'Tis the season, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? We'll count votes faster than Maricopa.
This just in, CNN is calling Montana for William Byron.
Got Wolf
Blitzer.
Wolf Blitzer sitting there. CNN calling it for William Byron. I don't even know who the hell this is. They just hand me stuff and I read it.
The write-in candidate pulls off the upset.
William Byron is your pick.
I'm rooting for Rob Ford.
All right, this will be something.
Yep, we can.
I feel like everyone feels good about their pick. I think everyone made a good pick. Larson, you got to feel good. Bell, how he's run, got to feel good. I feel good about Reddick and even William Byron. I mean, the guy's been a top 5 machine. These are all. I mean, these are gonna be close.
I think the only pick I don't feel good about is my Chandler Smith Xfinity pick, but could be right.
Well, guys, let's not dilly-dally. We have the random driver of the week. So hide your chat. Get the list of ones we've used before down below.
Get out of here, chat.
Hide your streams. Hide your chat.
On the year so far, Danny has won 13 to Eric's 11.
Oh, we're getting him this week.
And
are you though?
I have gotten 3. Guests have gotten 6. Last week it was Connor who got James Hilton and a record 3 clues. MTJ and Lee Petty for Danny the last couple of weeks. It's been a while. Eric, every time Eric goes a month without winning, he ends up winning.
So I just gotta win 1 or 2 more to clinch
for the year.
One more would clinch.
Yeah. So it's like, don't F it up. So I let you guys know earlier the random driver was chosen by my fiance Riss. Not that it's much of a clue more than anything, but just wanted to put that out there. She has this one. This random driver is a North Carolina native.
Oh, that really narrows it down.
Oh yeah. This random driver, this one actually, like, this is one of them. Like, I feel like I should give one on number 3 now, just like to honor Connor's nice rhyme. Ultimate win that could give it away if you know lore. This random driver held his wedding on the front stretch of the Martinsville Speedway.
That is really random. I'd never heard about
That
that
feels like
before.
it should be a dead giveaway. Someone out there immediately is like, oh,
It's like, oh
got it.
no, Tingle McCringleberry.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. I don't know who'd have done that.
This
I know there
random
was a random couple that was married in Kevin Harvick's pit stall. That's all I know about.
This random driver's birthday was celebrated 11 days ago. So happy belated birthday.
Happy belated birthday, dear so and so. Happy birthday.
This random driver finished his
Get your
NASCAR
everything.
Xfinity Series career with a streak of 102 straight DNFs.
Dang, he was trash.
This random driver scored 15 career Xfinity wins.
Dang, he was
Wow.
good.
That is an insane stat. 102 straight.
Trust me, I had to
DNFs.
dig that one out of my ass real good. I was like, wait a minute.
Did you read on Racing Reference counting them
No,
down?
I was
Like, wait,
no, I found it on Twitter. I found it on
78,
no, I found
79.
it. I found it on Twitter during the streak, and I'm like, I wonder how long this went. Holy hell, this went for like 7 years.
I went
Wow.
from dang he was trash to dang he was good.
I know I had to do that quick turnaround.
Yeah,
This
wow.
random driver has finished in the top 10 in Cup Series points 4 times.
Okay. Yeah, their career is all over the map right now. I'm
I
getting
love-
no correlation.
I love how the chat is kind of getting it, but they're wrong on some of the clues. Like they're trying to correct me, and it's like no, you're wrong on those clues. This random driver's career high in Cup points was a 5th place finish.
In cup points?
In Cup points, highest career finish was 5th.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This random driver has never been tweeted about by Eric or I, but Danny did have a tweet that did some numbers about this driver.
Did some numbers.
Did some numbers?
That's a big hint.
We talking numbers?
Can we talk about numbers this guy may have driven in his career?
No.
Oh, is that a big hint?
Maybe. This random driver is one of the 19 drivers that won a cup race in a car fielded by the Wood brothers. We are all over the damn place with this one. I guarantee one of you is just going to have that eureka moment. Kind of on a sad note here, this random driver was recently diagnosed with Parkinson's.
Oh, is it Morgan Shepherd?
It is.
Yeah.
Eric's on the board.
That was really intense. I should not be like fist pumping after we talk about
So the
someone with
chat-
Parkinson's
the-
diagnosis.
The chat was trying to correct me on saying that Morgan Shepherd's from Virginia, though he is originally from North Carolina. I can look at a
You
couple.
see, I forgot about that clue, to be honest.
I can
Yeah,
look-
no, the Parkinson's gave it away. I also, in my head, when you mentioned all the DNFs, but that they won in Xfinity, immediately I was like, oh, it kind of sounds like a Morgan Shepherd type. And then I was just sort of,
It's a good
yeah.
thing you didn't vocalize it like you always do.
Yeah, no, I was very quiet this
So-
week.
So Eric is up. So it's now 13-12. We're actually having an interesting score. I want to look at a couple other real random facts before we go to the last Super Chat stage break. One of them was the fact that after DNFing an Xfinity race in 2018 at Richmond, he got out of his car, immediately got on his bicycle, and rode his bike out of the track.
That's a very Morgan Shepherd. I mean, one of the great characters in the garage. How old is Morgan Shepherd now?
He's in his 80s. I can't.
Is he in his 80s?
Yeah.
And it's sad to see greats of the sport
He
get
was-
old like
he
that.
was-
I hope he's doing well. When
think
was
he's
the
83.
Parkinson's? When was the Parkinson's diagnosis? That was very recent,
2020.
wasn't it?
That's
Oh.
what stopped him from racing was 2020 because he was
Oh, I didn't
racing up
realize it
till
was that long ago.
2019. The crazy part for me is that like when we started the show, Morgan Shepherd was still racing. Some
Yeah.
others here. He won the 1988 Australian NASCAR Christmas 500 race. Very, very random. He tried to attack a fan at a race once for heckling him, and the only thing that stopped him was security and a fence. He tried climbing it to go after the fan.
What year did this happen? Was this in his Racing for Jesus days?
I did not look at the year, but I think it was sometime in like the 80s or 90s. I want to point out something else here, a really random one. Through his career, he raced with the likes of drivers like Wendell Scott, all the way up until racing with drivers like Tyler Reddick.
That's crazy.
He had a run-in with Joey Logano. let's see, finished second to Davey Allison in the 92 Daytona 500. These are the ones that probably give it away. He did actually race in the 2010s in Xfinity for a couple races, not officially outside of one, but in cars fielded by Richard Childress Racing. That was Danny's tweet, by the way. He
did numbers.
Yes. He was the second oldest winner in Cup history and was the oldest driver to start a top 3 NASCAR series race at 77 years old. And the two that gave it away is he was a skater boy and he was racing for Jesus.
Those, I mean, if we didn't get it by then, we would be out to lunch. But
I will say at the Zaxby's, that was one of the looks of the car he drove for RCR. It didn't have Zaxby's on it. It was the same look as the John West Townley scheme. But actually, as I was reading through the replies, as I was curious what tweet I had that was so popular, he actually only ran, I guess, one true race. That was RCR. The rest of it was owned by his team, just using that number 21 with the RCR font.
You know what's great is he ran the Zaxby's car and he didn't end up trying to kill somebody.
Yeah, it's a low bar to clear.
I had Zaxby's this week.
Hey, to be fair, if like Jeff Gluck and everybody else can make that joke for years on end, like I think I can sneak in a little dig at somebody who can't defend himself anymore, especially from a hatchet.
Jared, Jesus Christ. I mean, ugh. Well,
it's a great book.
Morgan Shepherd, good driver of the week.
Yeah,
I'm glad I got on the board.
I'm like looking at next week's driver, and I'm just like,
You said Riss picked him. Then why? What was her reasoning for?
I'm really curious.
Yeah, we were just going through just like different drivers and names and stuff, and like hold on, where's the book at? I have it right here.
Yeah, show me all your future options.
I have this one. I only have the 2011 edition, but we were just going through, and I'm like, just find a name that like just stands out to you. And she's like, who's Morgan Shepherd? And I'm just like, oh boy, I have a good story for you. And so I was like,
put the book down and just tell it yourself.
I pretty much did.
Yeah.
You put down that book and you pull out a Bible. He raced for this.
Do you know? You remember how people used to roller skate everywhere, right? He was still doing it way past its prime.
He was a great personality. I love that he was able to be at the Brickyard this past year too.
Oh, was he? That's really good.
He was
cool.
One of the drivers at the start finish line that took a picture of like the inaugural Brickyard guys that still
neat.
around, all that, and I was like, awesome.
That's very cool.
Was Landon Castle the last driver to drive his car?
Might have been.
He had to be one of the last ones. I didn't want to go too far in the weeds on that, just because with it being so close to us starting the show and everything in that time era, like I didn't want to like jog anyone's memory just in case. So yeah, now Danny, let's see, we have we have 3 shows remaining. So you could have locked in at least at the bare minimum of a tie this week. But Eric got this one 13 to 12.
If I win one more time, I lock in a tie. If I win 2 more times, I clinch it.
Yes. Unless the chat doesn't hit the like goal, which I would be very sad. A very sad boy.
You'd lose a prediction.
If I did it, I would hope it would at least be the last episode, so at least it would just carry over to next year. All right, but that'll do it. Let's what we got for the super chat stage break.
Gosh, wouldn't that be rough? You just start off the beginning of next year, and I have predictions wrong to start the year.
One of us is bound to.
Yeah.
Let's see. We left off with VA Sensations. We're gonna pick back up with Rouser. Appreciate the $2. Will Logano challenge Gordon all time if he wins? Well, he'll be one behind Gordon, so.
In terms of championships, yes.
Yeah, but Gordon's also 3rd in the all-time wins list. And
yeah, I wouldn't be ready. I'm not putting.
No one's questioning. I'll just put it like this: the fan base is not questioning any of Gordon's championships at this point. Like,
well, there's that. I also just the 90. How many wins did he end up with? 93, 95? I always forget the number, but he's got
90.
triple Logano's wins.
I believe it was in 93.
I think Logano is capable of being a 4+ time champion. I mean, look how many championship fours he's been in. He could have been rivaling Petty, Earnhardt, and Johnson, but
if only every year was even.
Let's see here. Bamcat Mazak. That's an interesting name. Appreciate it. 1999. If Logano wins the championship, he'll be the luckiest driver in recent memory. Dude had infinite gas at Nashville, Bowman getting DQ'd, and now this win. Also, Eric, are you still eating those words from last week?
Yeah, obviously.
I forgot. Did any of us?
Great.
Did any of us say a thing about like if Logano wins a championship, we'll do X? Like,
I don't think so.
I just want to make sure because I know there's like people on social media that have said that, and I'm just like
looking to stir something up. He's like, "Who's getting the tattoo?"
Man, I'm just
listen, ever since the Florida State dog crap guy, no one should be doing stuff like that.
All I'm saying, man, is like if we're gonna stir stuff up, I'm still like I am fully on board with whichever host finishes last and pick points next year has to spend 24 hours at a Waffle House, do the Waffle House challenge. Like
the whole time.
I would not be upset. I mean,
chat, what should I order? Chat, which flavor? What waffles?
Each waffle takes an hour off of your time.
All right, listen. If Joey Logano doesn't win a championship, I will go about my day and have a good time.
Then he remembers he's a Titans fan.
That's why I'm wearing the orange Tennessee team jersey instead. Fred Dog 81, appreciate the $5. Jarrett's fiance, touch grass. Tyler Reddick, flip on grass. Jarrett, pave the grass. Well, which one is it?
I didn't say pave the grass. I specifically said not to pave the grass. I still need to touch it.
Jarrett says pave it before he can touch it. Zay Rush, appreciate the $4.99. Playoff this, playoff that. Screw all that. Bud A is back, baby.
Yeah, we should have just led with that. That should have been the top story tonight.
That should just end it right there. No, we can't. We have a lot of super chats. Actually, appreciate it, everybody. Lucas TA, appreciate the $19.99. Very generous of you. A 30 race all season point system with the current point system of no playoffs, and no track will have more than one date except for Daytona and Talladega. A nice rotation of tracks year after year. Good for everyone.
Maybe. I doubt it, but sure.
Oh, this one got a lot of replies. This one was spicy. So keep in mind, this is Will Griffin's words.
Oh, I saw the chat going nuts, and I was like, "What is this about?" I didn't want to spoil it. Let's see what we got.
Yeah, I'm interested.
Will Griffin for $20. Ain't no way in hell that D-Bag is winning the 24 championship. He already won in 22, so this year is Hendricks. He will never deserve to even be in the same book as the GOAT, Gordon. Screw Joey. I hope he gets wrecked at Phoenix. Not my words, Will Griffin's words.
Will Griffin.
Certified hater of Joey Logano. Will Griffin, everybody.
Yeah.
Votes negative. Votes negative on every poll that a Hendrick driver doesn't win.
Chris McIntyre, appreciate it, $2. Logano needs wrecking. Paging Matt Kenseth.
I'm gonna get him off the couch.
Paradox of Crota, interesting name. $20, appreciate that. For me, if you win a championship under the format that was placed by the higher-ups, then the championship still matters, at least to me. All the teams know the roles going in, and if you can make it, oh well. That's the thing. Don't hate the player, hate the game, everybody.
Yeah, you can't blame a driver or team for taking advantage of the
They're
the
just
format.
working with the situation they've been dealt.
I feel like that's just been the byline of like this show, week, year, you name it.
Yeah, I don't know, not to debate the playoffs again. People hate this comparison, but as a big stick and ball sport fan, I just always grew up knowing the end of the season matters most, and that like last year, the wild card teams, the Diamondbacks and Rangers, might be the ones to go to the World Series. Like, you know, were the Rangers and Diamondbacks the best teams in baseball last year? No, they weren't, but they were good enough to get there and then won the big games when it mattered most, when all the chips are on the table. And I think if you that's what the point I was trying to make earlier is if you grew up in the era of the Winston Cup format, I understand that's hard to wrap your head around because you're used to rewarding a championship based on a full season of consistency. But if you're like me or other, broader sports fans, I guess I wrap my head around the idea of a late season playoffs easier that for that reason. But I understand not everybody does, which is why I don't try to cram it down people's throats. But it's why like I still care deeply about tracking the points round by round. I think it's interesting to see how drivers race differently, knowing where they're at in the points. I do think it adds an added wrinkle to these races that wouldn't exist otherwise. I get that other people don't like it, and I agree that Joey Logano is kind of he's probably the most, like I said, he's the worst driver to make the championship four in this format's history since playoff points were introduced. So I understand the criticism. I just, I don't know. That's why I still enjoy tracking it. I think it's a good time, and I think everyone who makes it is legitimate in their own way.
I just stopped caring. I'm on the other end with it. We'll probably never agree on it. That's why we're just doing. I'm just fine with the amicable divorce.
Yeah.
Chris Furrow 11, appreciate the $5. The fact that Bobby Allison has a win more recently than literally every active driver is embarrassing for them.
That's pretty funny.
Shorty PJM, always good to hear from you. Appreciate the 522. Part 1 of 2. He is the moment. Legend. Even year Joey is inevitable. My twin and I legit tweaked so hard. 3-time champion incoming. Try to tell you with a little devil emoji there at the end.
He
Shorty
is the
PJM.
moment. I like that.
Shorty PJM with another additional 535. Appreciate that. Part 2 of 2. Ryan helping Joey. Penske is teamwork. Plus, as a pained Alex Bowman fan, now his DQ is worth something. And King AJ Allmendinger with the win and in the championship 4.
King AJ Allmendinger. That's fun. Yeah, I like the quote. He is the moment. I'm gonna start using that one.
Yeah, but it's all looking up for you right now, Shorty PJM. Video game sports. Appreciate the $5. Congratulations to the oldest driver to win a NASCAR race, 85 years old. I hope NASCAR sent Richard Petty to present him the trophy. Did not send Richard Petty, but did send Steve Phelps and Jim France. All right.
Yeah, we had a Jim France side.
Mike Helton and rare Jim France.
Oh, Mike Helton, not Steve Phelps.
Yeah.
Groovy Goose, appreciate the $1.99. Does this qualify Bobby Allison for the All-Star race? Coming back at Brooke Wilkesboro?
What about Jeff Gordon as a 13th member of the chase?
Anything's possible, guys. Fred Dog 81, appreciate the $5. I can't wait for 2077 when NASCAR retroactively rewards 84-year-old Alex Bowman his playoff spot back and somehow happily pats himself on the back. I made the same joke in our group chat earlier.
Yeah.
Ross Crash Sane, appreciate the $5. Hoping for a 22-5-9-24 championship 4. Logano winning, karma for Rick for not appealing the 48 penalty. I'd be laughing for months.
I
can do is laugh at this point, so I'd do the same.
I just saw Snappy in the chat say Jim France warned Bobby not to talk ill of NASCAR if he wants the win to stand.
Jim was like, so we can count on you to testify on our behalf, right?
He's like sitting there with like a freaking pistol. He's like, we can trust you, right?
Bruce Morgan, appreciate the $4.99. Forget Logano. The Chase Olympic year curse will prevail. He won Martinsville in 2020 in the title. Chase is inevitable to win Martinsville in 2024. The way it's looking, he needs to hope he can do that because that's about his only chance to get into the championship 4, in my opinion.
Probably.
BGWX Chasing, appreciate the $4.99. With all this playoff drama, just wanted to remind everyone we are also getting a mid-season tournament next year too. Not been much to talk about that.
Yeah, well, I think once it comes up, it'll be a big talking point. But yeah, you think the playoffs are wild now. Wait until we're trying to also make sense of an in-season tournament. Is it like, what do they do? Is it $1 million on the line or something like that?
Something like that.
No, I bet that was NASCAR's like middle ground, being like, we do not want to change the format again, so we'll give you your own format, Turner.
And guys, something like this can be amazing for these brave teams that are racing without a charter. So unfortunately, the 2311 and front row guys can't have a charter. They could really appreciate the opportunity to race for something like this, guys. I think they would really benefit if they could pull off an upset and win that tournament. Seeing how it's Denny Hamlin's original idea, anyways.
Those underdog guys with Michael Jordan as funding, just
I know.
they just pull themselves up by the bootstraps.
You got to root for the underdogs in this one, guys. They would find some way, somehow, to screw them out of that one. I can already see it coming.
Tech gods.
Palm Tree 82. Appreciate the $20. First off, how about the Vols, Danny? How about them Vols? Also, I took my friend to his first race and my brother to his second race this weekend. Thank you guys for the great content I used to help explain a bunch of things to them. I'm glad we could all help.
Yeah, thank you for watching and listening.
Thank you for dealing with me and my Tennessee Vols. Palm Tree 82, appreciate the $5. Also, they caught the 45 flip, but I missed it because I was watching and cringing at the 6 come back across the track. I had to watch it on a replay.
Yeah, and they missed I don't think TV cameras ever showed the contact between the 6 and the 12.
I don't think so.
That's right. NBC's been sloppy this year, man. Like, Lee Diffie's awesome, but he can only do so much.
Here we go. He's back, guys. Will Griffin, $5. Appreciate that. Interesting idea of both Dylans racing in 2025. We need Ty with a Pepsi car and Austin with a Coca-Cola car in the same race. Do a cross promotion.
Would Coke?
Why the Dylans?
And why would Coke and Pepsi try to prop each other up?
Yeah.
Pepsi is now in third place according to recent data. Dr. Pepper is now in second place. So why would Coke do anything to help Pepsi out?
Pepsi really could care less about NASCAR anymore. They left it.
Yeah.
They're not looking like they're going to come back anytime soon.
Well, they are at least at the track billboards now. I think this past weekend or like the week before.
There's some tracks that are some tracks are Pepsi, like have a Pepsi license.
Or
like
the tracks,
Dover, I think notably does.
I find it funny. Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of NASCAR, not served at like half of NASCAR races.
Kansas Speedway is a Dr. Pepper 7-Up track, which I'd never seen.
Well, that one blew our minds. We're like, wait a minute, neither of them are here?
I was like, not Coke or Pepsi. I can get RC Cola. What? What the hell is going on?
RC Cola, low-key Tennessee tradition. I think it was a Chattanooga thing. The coal miners would get moon pies and RC Cola. That's something that's a combination that's historic. Let's see here. Bailey Riker, appreciate the $4.99. Did anyone else call Ryan Kyle Sieg 2 by accident? I did when cheering him on. Get back into 39, please. So I guess.
Yeah,
it was confusing. Was he in the 28 or the 29? I forgot now what number he was in this weekend.
I feel like has he ran like every number, because the 38 is now De Benedetto. Is that who's in?
Oh yeah, the 38 is De Benedetto, and that's like Viking, but they have an alliance. So yeah, Ryan Sieg just gets in whichever one of his cars needs help.
He would have been so good with a good team.
Rich Wilson, Racer 65X. Appreciate the $5. I hate having to describe NASCAR's point system with, have you seen the movie Cars? Because that's exactly how it feels.
I get it.
Fred Dog 81, appreciate the $5. As wrestling fans, well, 2 out of 3 of you at least. Oh, it's just one of us. I don't think the other 2 of you guys watch wrestling.
I've made references because it's just in pop culture, but like I'm not a.
Can you smell what The Rock is cooking? That's all I know.
Anyways, as wrestling fans, on a scale of 1 to 10, how cringe was watching Cole Custer on NXT last night? I did catch the clip of that, and of NASCAR drivers and fire suit appearances in WWE, which hasn't been many, but there has been a few. I think it was definitely worse than Kyle Busch and Logano in 2008 on Monday Night Raw.
Well, they're real villains, so they could play it up.
Yeah.
Like what's Cole Custer like a villain of? Like
he was dancing with some baby faces. That's what he was doing. So
all I saw was a picture and people like laughing at it. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna sit this one out.
What was the year? Wasn't there a year Michael Waltrip and Kyle Busch. It was the year
So
Kyle
that
Busch and
was the
Michael Waltrip
year
had a bit.
that was when Kyle Busch won his most recent championship. It was in Nashville. I was there for that one because they were having the awards banquet in Nashville that same week. R-Truth was the 24/7 champion when they had that title, and he had won it in a match they did real quick. And then Kyle Busch come out to give him high fives and congratulate him. And then R-Truth went to hug Michael Waltrip, and Michael was like, no, 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 and unzipped his jacket to reveal he had a referee shirt on.
I remember that now. And I remember thinking like it was cheesy, but like in the way wrestling is supposed to be cheesy. I thought that was kind of played
I,
up well.
I am one of probably a select few people that can say they have seen Kyle Busch win a championship and a WWE championship in the same year or period.
Hmm.
I'm just thinking back to Michael Waltrip hugging anyone. He's like, I don't hug anyone that's not Danny Dye.
Let's see here. Pick it up. NASCAR 2414. Appreciate it. 999. Hey, NWP, Las Vegas, Xfinity. I'm mixed emotions seeing Dinger win and Sieg not getting his first win. Cup in person. Car flip, huh? Boring finish with fuel mileage and Bell not close enough to battle.
I think he's just one lap away.
I would say he was getting there. Yeah.
The part about fuel mileage, like people find it boring, is like I don't, because you always have that moment where you're like the whole time you're on the edge of your seat, like he could run out at any moment. Like he could run out coming out of 4, he could run out coming out of 2, he could run out a lap before. I'm just listing Dale Jr. moments he's ran out and broke my heart. So,
well, if Logano had his Nashville fuel tank, he was never going to run out. So.
He's actually using the same amount of fuel that he had at the end of the Las Vegas race to start the Homestead race, and he'll make it 2 runs on that.
CBB, appreciate the $5. Disney should replace Geico as a series sponsor. We are already under the tyranny of Mickey Mouse outcomes. We might as well make it official.
I get 8 out of 10 on the joke. That's creative.
NASCAR 2414, appreciate the $4.99. Hey, NWP, anybody going to Homestead? I went in 2015 and 2016 for Tony Stewart and Jeff Gordon's final races. 2015, I barely made it due to snow and rain. I will not be at Homestead. I'll be in Montana. Or I don't think either of you guys are going, are you?
No, I might know someone that is, but I can't say yet for sure.
Gotcha.
I was there last year. It was fun. It was a good time. Good to be back. I hadn't been in a few years, but I won't be this year. But it's a good facility. If haven't been in a decade, I think you'll enjoy it.
My thought on Homestead, went in 2019, enjoyed it. I don't think I want to go back unless it's a championship again.
It's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, fair enough.
Snappy 452, appreciate the $5. $5 for 5 years. Happy anniversary, my good man. Thank you, Snappy. Appreciate that.
That's awesome.
That's nice.
Tyler Dotson, appreciate the $5. Gazoo is Japanese for image, and it is from the name of Toyota, of a Toyota portal site. There was a team that couldn't be a works team, so they used Gazoo Racing. Interesting.
Thank you for the history lesson.
I appreciate that.
I'm American. What the hell's a kilometer?
Rich Wilson, Racer 65X, appreciate the $5. Eric, don't forget Willie B's career started on a computer.
How can any of us truly forget? Oh, wait, is they suggesting I'm the next Willie B?
Yes.
It's not going to happen, but
it'd be a serious competition of who's the tallest NASCAR driver, you or Austin Cindric.
I'm the tallest. I Googled it a few years ago.
Okay.
Cindric's got nothing on me.
Bailey Riker, appreciate the $4.99. Who wins a 10-lap shootout at Daytona? Tony Stewart or Dale Sr.?
Dale Sr.
Got to be Dale.
Senior won a 500. Stewart didn't, so gotta go Senior.
Earnhardt won every dual race he was in the 90s.
Yeah,
That's not a competition. I love Tony Stewart, but even Smoke would tell you that Dale Sr. would beat him.
Would he though?
That was one. I think that's one of the people that he respected to that level.
Maybe. Okay, yeah, you might be right.
Alessandro Sebastian, appreciate $10. Doubt this will happen in a Groovy Hollow race, but if Eric is in second place in the final lap, he will channel his inner Austin Dillon and wreck the leader. Jokes aside, good luck to you, Eric.
Thank you. I like how he said this probably won't happen, but imagine Eric has a chance.
I love all the backhanded comments we've been making at Eric all night.
I'm not gonna unless I don't even know how this is gonna play out. I've never done a race this long. Is there a way it could be a fuel mileage race? Maybe then I have a chance.
it
But
Depends.
I don't.
Are they doing like stage yellows or anything, or is it
I
just a
don't
straight
even
up
know.
race?
I think we might be doing like a halfway break. So I don't know.
What track is the race on again?
Iowa.
Iowa. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Rocks reviews and reactions. Appreciate it. $2. Imagine if all three HMS cars failed to make the championship 4. Don't see it happening, but it would be wild.
That would be extremely wild.
Have Reddick win this week, Blaney win next.
Fred Dog 81. Appreciate the $5. Do you know of any interesting paint schemes for Homestead? The ones 2311, Bowman, and others had last year were some of the best all season. Well, there is Martin Truex's throwback. I don't know of any offhand though, besides that one.
Yeah, are there any like last year it was the Hamburglar and Grimace cars. And then Bowman had the Miami sort of color scheme. I don't know that there are any like Miami vibes happening this time around.
Yeah, none that I can think of.
None off the top of my head, but I also haven't looked at I haven't paid close attention to it. Jake in the
Hobby
chat
said there's some breast cancer awareness.
Yeah,
funds.
so maybe there'll be some pink, which also doubles as kind of the Miami colorway. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Oh yeah, Timmy Wolf brought up a good one. Harvick ran the Budweiser car one last time last year. That was
Oh yeah, forgot that was in this race too.
So honestly, Truex's Bass Pro 2017 throwback is kind of on that same level as the Harvick throwback there. So
Pretty much.
but that'll do it. That's all the super chats we got this week.
Nice. Well, that was a good one.
Oh no! Just when I say that, got one more coming in from Bailey Riker. Appreciate the $4.99. 2311 cars can be underdog picks next year if they don't have charters.
Maybe at
Fair
Daytona,
enough.
especially.
Yeah, oh god, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Oh man,
I'll be interested to see if they stick with the deal with Truex and bring a third car that could potentially knock out one of their full-time drivers.
Yeah. That'd be interesting.
Very interesting.
That'll do
But
big.
that's it for now. You can catch us next week over on Eric Estep's channel, post Groovy Hollow Race. A lot of good live stream activity happening over there next week. Make sure you are subscribed to Eric. If you're somehow not, I'm confused how you would be subscribed to me and not Eric. Also subscribe over to Jarrett the Iceberg and help get him to 100,000. You're not there yet, are you?
We just hit 81K like 2 days ago, I think, or whenever Sunday was. So
Get him
working.
over there. I can't say what the channel is, but I run the channel full time for someone else, my full time job. We just hit 1 million on that one, so that was a huge milestone. Had a lot of fun getting that, and if you ever eventually see a gold play button behind me, now you know why.
Good Dan at 30K too. Let's get you 30.
Yeah, give me 30. Get Danny B trains up to 1,500. I think that's coming up soon too for that one.
Love it.
Crap, I accidentally screwed it up. We gotta go. I accidentally closed out OBS. It went black. So I guess bye.
Bye.
Oops.
Whoops.
Bye.